Okay, let's take a look. I still have Holy Word. Yay, I still have Holy Word. I assume that after this character, that's gonna be like the final Scrolls of Holy Word ever. So the justification for Holy Word is like the Holy Word removal is Scrolls of Holy Word are more or less the least interesting type of scroll currently in the game. I don't know. Scrolls of Noise exist. Those are least interesting because you don't really use them. Tiles, please. Ah, sure. Thank you for reminding me. I was reading that, but otherwise I would have completely forgotten about it. Um, Anyway, they're irrelevant for the vast majority of the game, and when they're useful later on, it's not in a particularly interesting way. They don't create exciting situations or memorable moments, just inventory clutter. Let's cut them. I mean, it's not lies. It's true. It's not good in the early game, and the more the game progresses, the more powerful it gets, and it's just powerful for the sake of being powerful. But I don't know if they needed to be removed. I think the effect was good. Mm. And now that effect only exists in the Shining One's weapon blessing. In case you don't know, when you bless a weapon with the Shining One, a scroll of Holy Word is also read. Like you get the effect of a scroll of Holy Word, which is something that people are generally surprised when I mention. But I always try to actually make use of that effect. I usually do it whenever I'm going into Pandemonium for the first time and I like bless a launcher. But I also haven't played an extended character of the Shining One in quite a while, so there's that. Hmm. Okay. Anyway, let's actually play the game. Yeah, let's play the game. Now that I have read the patch, well, I guess the update. Nothing too interesting. So last time we saw this character. Oh boy, am I going to die? I hope that I don't die here. This definitely looks pretty bad. Mm, I didn't want to cast that. That was my bad. But I guess. Oh boy. Yep, this is not good. Looking pretty good. This is actually terrible. I should have walked away from the stairs because I knew this was gonna be a thing that was gonna happen. I'm gonna read fear. Okay, now I'm gonna read support. I have the Desolation Assault here, but I am really not interested in going in because it's the Desolation Assault. Um, there's no point in going there ever with any character. Ouch. I would appreciate not dying. I would also appreciate stopping, to not take 42 damage to a thing that I'm resistant to, but sometimes that's not a thing that can happen. I'm a bit surprised that the Book Warden hasn't been hitting me with its Glaive of Freezing. Yeah, that situation was abysmal. Oh, wow, look at that! I teleported into getting shafted from an exploration trap. Delightful. I have resistance to electricity, so I don't fear this Thunderhawk as much as I would otherwise. Um, when we last left our hero Arg, when we joined our new hero, yeah, it's like that effect of stopping. If you stop being in the zone. You stop being very aware of what the character does. So you are at your most vulnerable during like the first 10 minutes or so of starting to play a character that you left parked. Um, and the more time passes between the last time that you actually touch the character, the worse it gets. That's why I don't want to play a new character on a Friday. Friday will be the variety day, moving on. I don't know if any of you were here when I mentioned it at the end of yesterday's stream, but that's just how it's going to be now. I will finish the character that I start on Thursday on Friday, but I will not start a new character on Friday. That will be a thing that happens on Monday. Can you please hit that guy? Thank you. Servitor is pretty strong. It's a really, really ridiculous spell. Very valuable mana-wise. Okay, I think I should maybe try fireballing some things. Fireball is okay for when you actually don't want to miss the monster. Dying when starting up a character a day later is so painful, especially when you knew that the character was like doing really well and it was actually powerful. Like this one. This one is also fragile. It's a powerful character, but very much a fragile character. So it's not something that you can. It doesn't have a lot of leniency for mistakes. You saw how I almost got killed in pretty much the first encounter of the stream today. So yeah, that's what I was talking about. I think if I had taken that encounter yesterday before ending the stream, I would have just completely destroyed all of those guys. And most importantly, I wouldn't have been in the position where I was, where I just got hit, where I just got trapped in the room with the melee monsters. As a 110 HP, 13 armor class deep elf. Yeah, you never want to be in that position as a character like this. So I wonder if there's two people that wanted to get into Crawl that mentioned that they wanted to see my streams. I wonder if they're gonna appear today. This is not looking good at all. This is quite bad. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, I'm gonna try to teleport and let's see how that goes. And after I teleport, I am gonna try to get out of bolts. Bolts is kinda like the layout of bolts is bad for my character. I hadn't noticed, but it is bad for my character. Oh wow, the spell for servitor didn't go away. Yeah, okay. It didn't go away, period. We take those. I'm not gonna complain. Okay. Okay, felt unsafe at 40 HP, but I didn't feel so unsafe at 50. That's why I drank curing instead of heal wounds there. Also, I'm kind of running low on heal wounds, so I also don't want to, run out of them. Okay. I felt like 5 mana was not going to be enough for me to, kill that. That's why I went for Servitor there. I waited for 7 mana and then I went for Servitor. But yeah, as I mentioned, I want to get out now. I don't think I can do this. The layout is extremely unfavorable for my character. I shouldn't take that. That's going to get me killed if I take it. So yeah, what I'm talking about is choke points and stuff. I need the monsters to be in the open so I can shoot them alongside my servitor. Oh boy. It's not gonna hit me. Yeah, it is enormous, so it would be weird if it was very dodgy. Easy to kill. Oh boy, imagine if the servitor hadn't missed that crystal spear, would have exploded. I would have exploded indeed. I have 2 magic mapping. It's not that many. I don't wanna, use one to find the exit to this level. I feel like I'm fine just waiting until I naturally find the exit just by walking. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I told you. Yeah, there it is. It's only one exit that I found. Alright, I think I can kill this guy. Ooh, boy, immediate, overwhelming regret. The globes are really good. The globes that Nicola has are really good. They are kind of an upgrade, but not quite. But the harm property is pretty nice because I will eventually have Firestorm, and Firestorm with harm is really good. Not only that, but it also gives me 6 strength. So I do remember that there was an item that I wanted to put on with like minus X strength. Let's see. Yeah, the Ring of the Coward gives me -4 strength. And I'm pretty sure there was another one, but I'm not sure where it was. Mm. Hello, Kilroy. Thank you for stopping by and good to see you around. We are playing Crawl again. And I am in a pretty sketchy situation where I would like to not be. Okay, let's copy Nicola. Hopefully my Nicola will cast Chain Lightning and kill everyone. Give it a shot after watching my tutorials. How did that go? Did you have a good time? Also, did you learn something different that you were not doing before? That's also an important thing. Oh, wow, that sucks. Okay, we cannot fight that. Yeah, we should never fight that with this character. I feel like in order for me to be able to beat that, I need like Firestorm. And since I don't have Firestorm, I shouldn't fight that. Yeah, Nicola, Senata, and a human band in the vaults is complicated to deal with. And I was able to just get out immediately, so why not? Okay, I have a non-temporary bazaar. This is a non-temporary bazaar. This is permanent. So it will just stay there until I actually go in. So I don't have to go in immediately. And since I only have 400 gold, I definitely have no incentive to go in right now. How do you learn from this game? You feel you're not learning what's good and what's bad. I feel like you need to be a bit more specific with what you mean by what's good and what's bad. The tutorial was super long though. Mm, yeah, I have a lot of characters in the tutorial series. It's just like a complete character, and I like have timestamps and other things that I don't have on my normal runs that are more for entertainment. But yeah, it's a complete character, and you can skip to the specific part that you want to see. And like I try to explain everything as much as possible. In fact, the start of this character yesterday definitely qualifies as a tutorial series character, and it's definitely gonna be going to YouTube, unless I kill it, which hopefully won't happen. Um, those frost hearts are super scary. They can hit pretty hard. And it is completely undodgeable what they do. If you're next to the wall, they just hit you, and it hurts. And the layouts sometimes make it so that it's close to impossible or just straight up impossible for you to not be next to a wall. Um, how do you learn from this game? Okay. Mm, yeah, I find it pretty hard to answer that question because I don't feel like I understand it completely. So if you feel like elaborating, I would be very happy to answer that for you. But yeah, I should probably not be fighting in the bolts, not yet. How to learn it's undodgeable, for example, that one move. Well, there's many things. Smite is undodgeable. How do you learn that? You inspect the monster. What I'm about to do is the same as just inspecting the monster. Um, you search for an orc priest, or well, you don't search for an orc priest. You inspect an orc priest, and you see that it has 4 abilities. So this game gives you all the information that you need in the game. You don't have to alt tab and go to a wiki to search what it does. And like you read these. If you see something that you're not familiar with, you press the key and it tells you smite any targeted enemy within sight without no direct line of fire required. So yeah, that's this is how you learn from crawl. Whenever you see a monster, you press X. This gives you this little cursor that you can then move, and then you hover over something, and then you press B, and it gives you the description of the thing. It is very important to do that any time that you find something that you don't know what it does. The more you know about the game, of course, the more you will you know not have to do that because you just have experience. But you will you will still get to do it every now and then. I do it every now and then. I do it pretty much every run on multiple enemies, just to make sure that it has a spell or that it hasn't changed or that it to see its success rates, that kind of thing, you know. But anyway, I guess we cannot do bolts. Bolts was really rough. My character is not well equipped to do with that. We're gonna have to do shoals. I also think that my character is not well equipped to do with shoals, but we have to do it. There's not much else that I can do. Okay, my spell for servitor is gonna destroy the ice statue. Because the ice statue doesn't have evasion, and the spell for servitor has crystal spear, which is kind of like the strongest thing in the game against things that don't dodge. Mm. Yeah, if you're wondering how I know they don't have evasion, um, this window tells me armor class 1 pip, which equals around 5. Evasion none right now because it's asleep, but it's normally 2 pips of evasion, so around 10%. In this game, there's always a flat 2% chance to miss. Even on the best case scenario, you have a 2% chance to miss, which is really unfortunate. It sometimes happens, and it's pretty rough when it does happen. I'm gonna go for a fireball here. I hope that I do not get punished too harshly over using Fireball. Fireball is not that great because Fireball causes a lot of noise, and when monsters hear noise, they're gonna be like, yo, what's up with that? And they're gonna go investigate. And so if you rest where you last Fireball, you might get into a fight before you're back at full power, and rinse and repeat if you use Fireball in that fight. Yeah, I like Crawl. Crawl definitely makes me happy. Um, I also like it when people tell me that I make it look easy because I know that it's not that easy. But yeah, the fact that I can play it and people think that it looks easy is definitely quite nice. Okay, I got the final spells from Vehumet. Got Firestorm, Shatter, and Polar Vortex. Luckily for me, I didn't get Chain Lightning, Shatter, and Polar Vortex, which was kind of what I was anticipating. I got offered Ignition, but I didn't grab it because I wasn't able to grab it. I would have liked to grab it, but there was just no chance for me to do so. I have zombie hands, and I kind of also want to grab that, but once again, there's not enough spell levels for me to grab it. I want Firestorm, and like the whole point of this character was to cast Firestorm as soon as possible. So now that I have access to Firestorm, we're just gonna be training these. I'm gonna need like 20 probably, 20 Fire Magic, 20 Conjurations. Firm believer that another fireball will solve any problem caused by fireball of that spell. It's pretty good with spell power, but like if you don't have that much spell power, it's not good at all. I generally try to stay away from it if I don't have crazy high spell power. Okay, let's see how this goes. I unfortunately cannot hit this guy. If I could hit this one fawn, I would be able to hit the 4 of them, but I cannot hit it, so the best that I can do is hit 3 instead of 4 fawns. I guess that's fine. There we go, good stuff. Okay, I think this guy had... Oh no, the one that had the Spear of Distortion already died. Lucky me. Ouch. Boomerang of Dispersal. It actually repositioned me to a spot that's not terrible. Yeah, put me in a pretty good spot, that blink. I shall take that. Talking about blink, I have it. It is important to keep in mind that I have this tool at my disposal. It is also at 100% power, so it will pretty much never be it will never give me a cooldown, so that's pretty good. We found Roxanne. I don't think I care too much about killing Roxanne this time. I don't need statue form. This character is not a statue form character. Because at the end of the day, statue form will reduce the damage that you deal with your magic because it makes you slow, so it means that it takes you longer to cast, which means that you cast less in the same amount of time. So yeah, also my character has pretty good resistances already. It has all the resistances that I would normally get from statue form. The only thing that I would be able to get is, of course, vast amounts of armor class, but I don't think I need that. I think that the correct thing to do for this character right now is just to get Firestorm, which, yeah, it's at 90% chance to fail, so it's gonna take me a while to get it, but we should get it before this character wins. And I can just press the Firestorm button at that point. Um, Vehumet makes it so that whenever you kill things, you gain mana back sometimes, and if you kill a lot of things that have a lot of hit dice, you gain back a lot of mana. So potentially with a single cast of Firestorm, you could get back quite a lot of mana. You could pretty much have your mana bar be completely refilled. So it's a pretty good spell, really, really strong. Mm. And it is an ideal spell to have as a deep elf. Once I have it, I'm gonna be very glad to go back to Vault and deal with Nicola and Senata and that human band that I unfortunately have to leave behind because they were super scary. So yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to do that. That's a pretty good glaive, you know. Good resistances, really good resistances. And like the brand is okay. It's not the greatest brand ever, but it is definitely okay. If I was using pole arms, I would be very happy to do that. Demon Trident. Talking about pole arms again, if I was using pole arms, I would also be very happy to use that one. Okay, spell for servitor is really strong. I like this spell a lot. Yeah, my first time ever using it, but it's been very, very good. I have, it has my seal of approval already. A Fence Strider Witch. This is a crossover episode. This thing doesn't spawn in Shoals. It's an emblematic swamp enemy. It's very scary because it has paralysis. So if you do not have willpower, this character already got 2 sources of willpower, so the paralysis is only at 1%. If you don't have that, however, it can easily kill you. It hits hard, 25, 25. It also has Hurl Sludge and Agony. Pretty rough enemy to deal with, unless you have good defenses for it, which I do. Also, sometimes they drop ones when they die. Defense Strider Witches. It's like with the dragons, when they drop scales, Fence Rider Witches and Eleonoma sometimes drop ones. Pretty nice. Okay. That might be Ilsuiu's band. Just gonna retreat for safety. It's just that I saw 2 high-level, 2 Employed Merfolks, I guess. Yeah, the Impaler and the Aquamancer, and I like immediately thought about the possibility of that. Ilsuiu is a unique merfolk that only spawns in Shoals. So yeah, since this is the only place where she can spawn, if you see something like that, it's not impossible that it's Ilsuiu. Okay, I'm gonna need the servitor to start doing some work here. Oof, that's pretty rough. I am going to have to use Condenser Bane here. That's pretty good. Maybe Lightning Growth. I don't wanna like take damage if I can avoid it because I don't have any mana. So any damage that I take would be damage that I would have to deal with if hypothetically there were more monsters coming after these ones. So yeah, I'm very glad that I was able to win that fight without really using any consumables or taking a lot of damage. That went very well for me. Ring of Cold Resistance. Do I care about that? I think I do, so I'm gonna pick it up. Drop the Staff of Air. My longsword of resistance to electricity is pretty much the same as the Staff of Air because I don't really have air magic spells. The only one that I have is Static Discharge, and I would not shed a tear if I was to, amnesia it. In this game, amnesia is not like in NetHack. Amnesia is a good effect that lets you forget about spells. You cannot learn all the spells that you want. You have a limited capacity for spells, so you have to to get rid of some spells to learn some other ones. Depending on the spell level, you have different capacity. Like right now, I have 2 spell slots left, so that means that I can learn a level 2 spell. Um, yeah, Crawl doesn't have effects that are just directly overwhelmingly bad for the player like NetHack does. Um, there's some effects that are bad for the player, like scrolls of noise, potions of degeneration. Those ones are just directly bad to the player, but they are there to incentivize you to not read identify things. They are not there to literally kill you for reading identify. It's just that you will sometimes get punished for reading identify. Oh wow, that's a pretty bad amount of money to get from that scroll of acquirement. Um, they can give you more than 1,000 gold, and I got 400 for that scroll. When we got that scroll last stream, someone in the chat mentioned that was like almost guaranteed to be a gold positive scroll of acquirement because if it was so cheap. But it was not the case. Yeah, that's truly unfortunate. Anyway, this book is it has Orb of Destruction, it has Chain Lightning. So if I didn't already have something that I will do for the rest of the game, like at the end of the game, I have something that I already want to do, I would maybe think about getting Chain Lightning, because Chain Lightning is at the end of the day also a win condition. It's just not a spell that I like a lot. I'm gonna get the money, get back a bit of my investment. That's pretty rough. Yeah, I lost like 100 gold out of that just because the amount of gold that I got from that acquirement was so low. It's completely fine. Gold will come in the future. Let's go back to Shoals. Okay, pretty much in every fight I want to cast the spell for Servitor. It's crazy how much value the spell has. The War Nymph is definitely quite scary. I'm gonna shoot it with a Fireball. Fireball creates a steam which deals extra damage. The steam is only created, of course, when the Fireball hits water. So yeah, pretty good stuff. Okay, yeah, that got a bit scary for a second. Alright. I do have to say that playing a spellcaster will almost always be slower than playing a melee character. Like a true spellcaster like this one that will pretty much never melee anything for the entirety of the game. I have 2 strength. I'm just gonna say that. I have 2 strength. There's no way that I can melee things. Okay, pretty good fireballs. Hit all 3 of them, or hit all 5 of them 3 times. Pretty good. There we go. So, merfolks, as you have already noticed, generally carry a lot of things that they can throw, and there's a lot of water in this place, so it's very easy for a merfolk to just catch up to you. It is a nasty, nasty place to be in. By the way, that also seems like a nasty, nasty bolt, and maybe I shouldn't be fighting in it, much less so casting Fireball, but I will cast Fireball. Yeah, something opened the door there because I produced enough noise and there were monsters inside. I hope that the downstairs are not in that bolt, because usually you gotta, like, that also comes with experience. You will play for long enough to be able to notice little things in the maps that are not there normally, like this structure. Something that is usually an indicator of that is granite statues. If you see granite statues, you gotta be aware, because that means that there's something there that wasn't like randomly generated. Someone placed those granite statues there. So yeah. Let's see what we got. Ooh, boy. Okay, I don't think I need that resistance to electricity that much. We finally got a Staff of Conjuration, so I am probably gonna be putting that on, or I'm gonna be wearing that. Oh, I finally identified everything, so I can also drop identify. The game marks it as useless once you've already identified everything that you would like, or that you would be able to identify with the scroll. Mm. Okay, Staff of Conjuration gives me more spell power on my conjurations. It doesn't give me more of a chance to succeed at casting them, it only gives me more spell power. So now my Fireball deals 3 dice of 20. Without it, it deals 3 dice of 17. The damage increase is definitely there. It's not that incredible, but it certainly is there. It is more noticeable on higher level spells, more powerful. Iron Shot is 9 dice of 9. Without it, it's 9 dice of 7. So yeah, the increase is much more noticeable for Iron Shot, for example. Um, let's see about the Servitor. 3 dice of 35 on the Servitor. When I learned Servitor, I think it was at 3 dice of 33. It's Crystal Spear. The bookshop doesn't matter to me anymore. I already have all that I could possibly wish for when it comes to this character. Yeah, when it comes to spells, I don't need any more spells. I just straight up have everything. Um, right now, like I have a Servitor and I have Iron Shot for myself. The Servitor is casting Crystal Spear. Eventually, I'll get Firestorm, and that will kind of replace Iron Shot for me. I still cannot cast it. My Firestorm is at 80%, so we're making a bit of progress, but yeah, I do not expect to be able to cast it before getting 20 skill in Fire and Conjurations skill. Which, yeah, it's gonna be a while until I get to that point. But fortunately enough, like I'm doing well enough that I don't need to train other things. Yeah, Javelineers are pretty bad. Oh boy, this is not going well. This is going very poorly. Also, I think the Servitor disappeared. Yeah. Cannot afford to miss against the Javelineer. That's why I went for the Fireball there. Really, really, really couldn't afford to miss. With Deep Elf, if you're taking damage at all, you're already in a bad position, and you need to make it so that you stop taking damage as soon as possible. More often than not, since you have very powerful magic, it is not an issue for you to stop taking damage. So yeah, Fireball did the job there. This little bolt didn't really have any exits, any downstairs, so it was also not very nasty. So I was fine. Okay, Mystic Blast, push those things away. It is important to remember that I still have Mystic Blast, and yeah, this kind of thing is why I don't like Shoals. Shoals is so open that you generally can't have situations like this one, where monsters are shooting me from like 3 different directions from the edge of the screen while I am retreating into water, so like they're just getting free attacks. It is only doable because I have A, not terrible evasion for this point in the game, and B, I was at full HP, so yeah, I was able to stall for long enough for my Servitor to just kill everything. So yeah, I have a bazaar. Keep that in mind. So like, if I find any more scrolls of acquirement in the future, they are most likely gonna go towards gold, unless I find something truly crazy. And once I have like 2,000 or 3,000 gold, I would like to go into the bazaar. Shows for Ice Cave. I assume that the Ice Cave should be here, but I'm not sure about that. No idea. I might have to read a scroll of magic mapping because I do want to go into that high level ice cave and see what kind of loot we can get from it. Scroll of magic mapping. The ice cave is in the opposite direction. Also, this is a shop right here. This is the ice cave, if I have to guess. Okay, what I'm gonna do is go upstairs, then go downstairs. Since I read magic mapping and I saw that there was a set of stairs really close to the entrance to the ice cave, and there it is. if you see that the level is like that and you're very far away from the entrance to the ice cave, it might be the correct thing to do because it means that it skips all that traversing through the level and potentially getting into a lot of fights that you may or may not be able to beat fast enough. So yeah. That's something that I tend to do whenever I have the chance. Okay, I'm just gonna rest my mana, go into the ice cave. This is a high-level ice cave, so the contents of it are gonna be more difficult than the contents of an ice cave that you would see in Lair. Okay, right away we see some freezing rates. They should not be any issue for my servitor. And even if they were able to get past the servitor, I can just fireball. Yeah, most of the monsters here are weak to fire. So yeah, hopefully no ice fiends. Even if there were ice fiends, I think I wouldn't be in the worst position. I think it would be bad because if I drink a potion of 3 to make myself immune to torment, the ice fiends would be able to just hit me with extremely damaging cold bolts of cold. But yeah, I have mm, I have fireball, so it's a matter of time killing an ice fiend. It wouldn't be impossible for me to do it. It would just be like, can I kill it before it kills me kind of thing. And I think I could kill it in like 3 or 4 fireballs. Maybe I would drink haste. Also use holy word if I was to encounter an ice fiend, because after all they are scary. They're most definitely quite scary. Okay. These obsidian statues summon things. The things that they summon, however, are not that crazy for this stage of the game and for the level of my character. The highest level thing that it can summon is a sun demon. I guess it can also summon Nekosek, but Nekosek are more annoying than they are dangerous. Hello, Elix Stormblade. Good to see you around. So I know that behind those doors that I didn't open, there's simulacra. I don't have to open those doors. Ooh, that's a pretty good kite shield. Hold on. Yeah, that's gonna come with me. Kite shield of cold resistance might be a very good idea to train a lot of shields now. It might be difficult to cast with the kite shield, however, because I only have 2 strength, and you need a certain amount of strength to not be horribly penalized for using a shield. You're still slightly penalized even if you have the required amount of strength, or the recommended. It's not really required. Yeah, encumbrance rating 10. That means that you're kind of advised to have around 10 strength. Encumbrance ratings are pretty weird. How they function. They're not really like a strength requirement. It's more like a strength suggestion. Okay, so this is where the Ice Fiend could be. Okay, we instead got 2 Reapers. We can deal with 2 Reapers. As you see, one of them just died almost immediately. Not an issue. Gonna gain a bit of ground on them. I'm gonna shout. Let's see if it actually comes for me. Reapers don't have melee attacks, or sorry, this is like the opposite. Reapers don't have ranged attacks. They only have very strong melee, so they're not that difficult to deal with. That went very well. We didn't really get anything from doing this, but it was fine because of the possibility. No, actually, we did get something. We got the Kite Shield of Cold Resistance, which in the future I may be able to use. Looking forward to that. Cold Resistance is nice. I only have 1 pip of it, so yeah, would appreciate having the 2nd pip, and it would be a nice little upgrade over my Buckler of Reflection. I don't really care about the extra shield stat, I care about the extra properties of the shield with this character. I'm gonna drop it because I'm not really gonna use it immediately, but eventually I'll come back and pick it up. With a bit of luck, I will actually be able to use that thing. Um, for now, however, I'm gonna train towards Firestorm, which is at 71%. We're getting pretty close to being able to cast it. Hmm. Alrighty. Lucky me hitting the Windrake twice with 2 iron shots. That is weird, and it doesn't really happen that often because Windrakes have repel missiles, so it's kind of hard to hit them consistently with things that are projectiles and check evasion, like iron shots. That's pretty rough. Okay, that's pretty funny. I was able to slice the merfolk with my longsword with 0 training. Um, I was about to comment on the 2 strength as well, but I remembered that nowadays swords scale with dexterity instead of scaling with strength. So I do have 19 dexterity, so it's understandable that I was actually able to hit the dudes with that. I wonder what that is. It's a weapon shop. I couldn't care any less about a weapon shop. Not with this character, unless there is one weapon that I actually could be interested in, but it's not gonna generate because it's an artifact. Yeah, it's not here. What I wanted was the elemental staff. The elemental staff is just an enhancer for fire, ice, earth, air magic, and I think that's it. Fire, ice, earth, and air magic. And it also gives you armor class. It gives you resistance to electricity, cold, and fire. I think that's how it is. Yeah, it's a really ridiculous item. Um, it's very strong. So yeah, my favorite build is Elemental Staff, Hat of the Alchemist. As someone yesterday said, my favorite build is Hat of the Alchemist. So this ending has a bunch of like rooms like this with some monsters and enemies. The room with the highest tier of enemies is the one that's gonna have the rune. Um, so yeah, since these rooms are like completely open, it is not a good idea to use Fireball when you're close to them. In general, it's not a good idea to use Fireball in this specific level. Um, let's see how it goes. There it is. That's the rune room. Okay, how do I want to do this? I think I'm gonna drink flight. That's fine. Because what I want to do here is read immolation, and then just cast Fireball. This is gonna create a bunch of explosions, by the way. Oh, that's a frost giant. That's a bit on the higher level for things that I was expecting here, but it still died without a lot of complications. What I am doing right now is since I knew that there were a million dudes in there, and there were a million high-level dudes that were relatively dangerous and difficult for me to deal with, I just read the scroll of immolation in a position where I could see a lot of them. So all of them were, or not all of them, but like most of them were affected by immolation, and the explosions just snowballed and killed all of them. And so I got my rune. Now I have 2 of them. I need at least 3, but it's gonna be a while until I get the 3rd one. That I have to say for sure. By the way, I can just get out now because I already got what I came here for. I am just hoping that I find like a scroll of acquirement or a large amount of gold, which can still exist in here. And also, this is not as terrible as a snake was. A snake wasn't bad, but it's just that the ending is much rougher. As I mentioned yesterday, the snake ending, yeah, it's just long and annoying, and very much the opposite of this ending that I got here, where it was just a very compact room with a lot of very high level enemies. So it was just a matter of actually using consumables to deal with them. Yeah, good stuff. I like it when I actually have a reason to use consumables. That's pretty bad. I went for the blink there. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, but at the end of the day, I didn't get punished for it, so it was fine. Okay, you're not swimming. So I think I can maybe step away. No, no, no. What I should do is cast Mystic Blast. Oh, that's so rough. Okay, we need to blink away now. That is truly unfortunate. I used Mystic Blast to push it away. I didn't push it away, and not only that, but it also beat me and it slowed me. It could have been worse. It could have hit me much harder, but it was still pretty bad regardless. Good luck to you as well, Star Polemic. Okay, please make it to the stairs. We should be fine now. Yeah, there we go. Very expensive because I had to use a scroll blinking, and scrolls of blinking are the most powerful consumable in the game. Wow, a nice chainmail. I sure wish that I didn't have 2 strength, so I could actually use that. +9 is a bit over-enchanted for a chainmail. They usually cap at +8 when they're not artifacts, and they also have +4 intelligence. Like that chainmail has +4 intelligence, so it's definitely something that I would like to use if I was able to. If I was to put it on, I wouldn't be able to cast Iron Shot or Servitor. I can guarantee that I wouldn't be able to cast those. And I would probably have issues casting other things like Fireball as well. And there's no way that I would ever cast Crystal Spear. I haven't even been able to cast it in Rope. I'm still using Rope, right? Yeah. I would like to replace that as well. But it's gonna be pretty rough to replace it when I only have 2 strength. That's why I want those harm globes. So here's the thing about Deep Elf. I do take a lot of damage, or a lot of damage, a percentage of maximum HP wise, because I have very low maximum HP and like bad defenses. But at the same time, I also deal crazy high damage. So it is not frustrating like melee characters can sometimes be, where you just don't deal damage, but you do take a lot of damage. Magic allows me to actually be able to deal a lot of damage, and while I take a lot of damage, that's okay. Okay, I think I was very sure that it was gonna kill the alligator snapping turtle, and I didn't really have to escape the level. Oh, acquirement. There you go. I told you. I told you there was going to be a scroll of acquirement. That cloak is so good. That is actually insanely good. It is so good that I'm not going to grab the 1,000 gold because the cloak is just incredible. And I think it's unlikely that I'm going to find something better than this cloak on the bazaar that I have yet to enter. So yeah, I did say that if I found something really good, I would I would get the item instead of going into the bazaar. So here we are. I have a message. What makes it so good? Resistance to electricity is a difficult property to obtain. It's not something that generates in rings. It only generates in artifacts or in some very specific items like staffs of air or storm dragon scales. So it's a rare property. Regeneration also is not a property that generates easily available. You can get it from troll letter armor, you can get it from amulets of regeneration, or you can get it from artifacts. And well, this is an artifact. Artifacts like these are randomly generated. There's some that are not randomly generated, that always generate the same. And there's one that always has the same name but generates randomly every time you encounter it. So yeah, that's why this cloak is good, because it's 2 properties that are really good for my character and pretty rare. Not only that, but I am allowed to drop the long sword of speed now, because I will not really be using it for resistance to electricity purposes anymore. Now I have it, and I also have a bit of extra regen. I have almost 2 regen per turn, which is pretty nice. Someone sent me a message in tiles. Did I generate a dump or something? Or why is there a message in tiles? Hold on. Okay, let's check that out. Interact. Let's click here. Do you even live, bro? Super welder. Okay, I do not. Yeah, my servitor lifts me. Um, oh, I should probably inscribe my staff with twitch.tv slash ninth settler. Twitch.tv slash ninth settler. I invented that and then I kind of completely forgot to do it. And then everyone started doing it. Everyone who streamed crawls started doing it. But I just don't do it more often than not. Um, Anyway, that is it for shows. So now we can go do. I don't want to do bolts, but maybe I'll be better at bolts now. How is this looking, by the way? 61. Okay, we're getting there. We are certainly getting there. What happens if I take off the buckler out of curiosity? Because it might be easier. 54. Actually, the success rate go like it becomes much more feasible for me to cast that. Yeah, when the time comes and I can actually learn Firestorm, when it's at like 10% or so, I am just gonna throw away the buckler pretty much because a buckler is a joke compared to the overwhelming power of Firestorm. But for now, let's just equip the buckler again. It is better than not having anything, and it doesn't really mess with my spellcasting that much thanks to the grace of Vehumet. Um, but yeah, pretty funny that I have only 2 strength. Ouch. Yep, Frost Hearts will do that. Ouch. Stop that. They are certainly annoying. And this is where the Desolation Assault was. Um, it's a very nasty place to go into. The whole place is pretty much like this. There's clouds of salt, and there's dudes that just remove all the clouds for a couple of turns. So instead of just having very little dudes in your line of sight, if those dudes just remove the clouds, now you have everything in your line of sight, which is quite awful. Not only that, but the level is quite open as well. There's like very little in the way of choke points and walls. So yeah, it's just a bad place to be in. I generally try not to go to the Desolation Assault with any character, and I think that's a thing that I also mentioned yesterday. Okay, I wish I could use these troll leather armors, but not with 2 strength. Maybe I could wear it. I actually am gonna put it on just for curiosity. 13, 16, so I lose 4 evasion. And yeah, spell for servitor goes to 4%. Crystal spear goes to 50%. So like barely. This guy can. Oh no! It stops casting it if it's at 50%. Your servitor casts Iron Shot, of course. Of course, we're not doing that. Let's go back to my Robo Willpower. Oh, Mana Regen is nice. Mana Regen is the only amulet that I would use over Regen with this character. I took off yeah, poison resistance, fire resistance, and regen. I already have poison resistance from the hat, so I'm okay with not having it. Fire resistance is okay as well. I can just take it off, and the regen, well, we were losing the regen anyway. I'm still gonna carry it because it's a pretty good amulet, and whether I use it or not, I would like to see it end the game in my inventory just because it is that good. Ooh, Warp Ties Dragon Scales. I wonder what they're gonna be. They are. Uh, wow, they're pretty bad. The 9 strength is nice, but they're only +1, dude. The fact that they are +1 makes them not very good. The 9 strength, however, means that I could reasonably put them on and not completely destroy my success rates. They are, of course, gonna take a dive, but the fact that it has 9 strength compensates a lot for that. If I tried to put on Ice Dragon Scales with my normal 2 strength, it would be a whole different story. So I have to say that I am very in favor of the change to Lodul. Now that he doesn't generate with 2 head augers, it is much more reasonable for characters to actually fight Lodul at the point in the game where he generates. The getting thrown 5 two-head ogres at you, like at that point in the game, like D10, D11, it's almost impossible. Very few characters can survive that. Very few characters can kill one. Like pretty much only spellcasters. Melee characters have no chance against a single one of them. Mm, let alone the 5 that often generated accompanying Clodul. Mm, okay, yeah. 2 turns, took 70 damage. Kinda rough. Mm, mm, mm. This is going fine. We found a glowing demon blade. It is a vampiric demon blade. That's a beast weapon. In fact, it is so good that I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna put it here. I may even train for it. I'm gonna enchant it. Yeah, it's like exactly tailored towards my character. Now that swords scale with dexterity, you can actually use them on characters that have 2 strength, which is this one pretty much. And the Demon Blade doesn't cost that much skill to get to min delay. Also, I have all these scrolls of enchant weapon laying on the floor from the entirety of the game, so why not use them on a weapon that already is so incredible? Demon Vampiric is the best brand pretty much. It is better on weapons that deal a lot of base damage, and when you have a lot of your damage dealing stat, whether it is strength or dexterity, because they have a pretty decent chance of healing you, depending on the damage that you dealt. So if you dealt a lot of damage, you have a pretty good chance of healing quite a lot. I've had situations where I just swing once and and heal for like 40 damage or more. It can get pretty crazy if you have like an axe of vampiric, and you're like mighty and you have like 40 strength and you press tab once and you heal half your life. It's pretty nice. Mm. So yeah, anyway, let's go do more of bolts now that I have gone out of my way to get that. Mm. It was completely unnecessary, I have to say that. It's not an important part of this character's kit, but I'm still gonna enchant it anyway, just because it is that good of an item. Probably never gonna use it, but it is a nice plan B for situations where I run out of mana. Would be much better if I actually had better armor class. Would be much better with statue form as well. Okay, there was an invisible monster, so I just shot in its general direction my iron shot, and it got the kill very easily. Mm. Okay, I'm gonna displace this. Mm. Pretty good. One more, there we go. Okay, I'll use Mystic Blast here. Somehow the Mystic Blast is not making the Spellforce Servitor disappear. It does take damage from the Mystic Blast, but it doesn't take that much damage. Usually when you hurt a summon, it just disappears instead of becoming angry at you. In earlier versions of the game, they did become angry at you, but fortunately that's no longer the case. If you hurt them, they just go away. But Spellforce Servitor doesn't behave like that. I guess it's a construct, so it doesn't really care. Like a golem. Pretty cool. Pretty useful spell. It definitely has my seal of approval. I wonder what that is. That's a Shadow Wraith. This is the entrance to the crypt. That's exactly what it is. That's the only naturally invisible enemy that can generate in bolts too. Where was it, by the way? No idea. But I'm pretty sure that guy was guarding the entrance to the crypt. Okay. Something important to mention for those that do not know how allies work in Crawl is that they will not ever attack or fight when you're not seeing the monster that they could attack or fight. They only attack things that you can see because what people used to do way back in the day was that they could spam a ton of summons and they could just disperse them around the level using some spells and they could just kill everything. People can still kind of do that, not with summons. They need to use Discord and Disjunction, which are very expensive spells, but it can still be doable if you want to do that for some reason. What I don't want to do, however, is die to Nicola, so I'm gonna use File of Floods. File of Floods prevents Nicola from casting Chain Lightning, and therefore prevents me from exploding. The Convoker is almost dead. I'm gonna try to snipe it with yeah, with Fireball. It was also using its Convoker thingy to convoke things, which is pretty nasty. Okay, those are my future globes. I need to drop something to pick those up. I guess I'll drop the Wand of Flame. Like, if I want to create steam, I have Fireball, so I do not need that. And yeah, I wanted these globes because of that 6 strength. The harm is going to be nice when I have access to Firestorm. We are at 45%, which means that it's going to be closer to around 30%, I would hope, when I take off my buckler. Oh boy, it hit and it didn't kill it? That's so bad. Oh boy. Okay, I have to teleport before these things kill me. Yeah, that's pretty rough. Zenata's ability to summon dancing weapons is so nice. It is so nice as a monster summon because it's really dangerous for the player. These dancing weapons are very strong. Yeah. Mm. She also has Resonance Strike, which I assume works with dancing weapons. Normally monsters that have that use them with like salt links and other constructs that generating the Desolation of Salt, but Senata probably does it with her weapons. Regardless, very luckily the teleport pretty much triggered instantly. So now I did kill Nicola. I got Nicola's globes. I can just leave and not fight that. Let's go to Vault 3. And we're getting pretty close to the point where I just get Firestorm. I can already taste it. I think that I should maybe turn this off and train this to 20 first. Training that to 20 allows me to learn Firestorm because every half level of spellcasting gives you one spell slot. Every 2 levels, or every level by extension gives you 2 spell slots. It also gives you more mana and gives you higher chance to succeed at casting a spell. It's not as good as training the specific spell school, but it has other properties that still make you want to train spellcasting. However, on characters that don't have an incredible aptitude for it, you don't want to, prioritize it. But Deep Elf has +3 spellcasting, so why not go for it? Okay. About to get another stat level up in the next level up. When I get to 21, I'm gonna be able to increase my intelligence. And considering that I'm trying to cast Firestorm, yeah, I'm gonna get some intelligence. 31 is like the very minimum to cast Firestorm comfortably. You can cast it with much less than that, of course, but it is not gonna deal that much damage, and it is gonna be much harder for you to cast it. Oh yeah, magic in this game is the greatest thing ever. I enjoy the magic playstyles a lot more than I enjoy the melee playstyles. I feel like magic gives me a lot of versatility, and it's like much easier to get strong when you're playing a spellcaster compared to a melee character. That's a pretty good plate. I mean, of course, I cannot wear it. It is one of the heaviest things that I can find. and I have 2 strength. But if I could use it, I would be very happy using that for a while. For a while, pretty much from this point until I have gold scales. Magic. Magic is nice. Yeah, how have your games been going, Alex? How has your crawl experience been so far? Mm, I hope that you've been having fun with the game. It is very, very different from Cogmind in a lot of different aspects. Um, it is a game about knowing how to win and about not making mistakes. Because the game at the end of the day provides you all the information that you need, so you don't go into encounters devoid of knowledge. There's a fun variety of magic stuff you can do in Crawl. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of uh, setups and things that you can do. Like for example, Enon really likes Inner Flame plus Gels Gravitas. I talked about it in my translocations overview that I did. Um, I did it yesterday, the translocations overview. And what Enon does is that he affects one of the monsters with Inner Flame, and then he uses a Gels Gravitas on that monster. So every monster just like collides with the one that has Inner Flame, and that just kills the monster with Inner Flame, and it explodes and it hurts everyone that collided with it. I would prefer not to do such a thing, but it does sound very powerful. I have to say that. You will forever miss fulsome distillation and evaporation, I assume, because like you cannot just use fulsome. You needed evaporation as well. That spell was so broken. Ah, okay. So it was not the entrance to the crypt, that invisible monster that I killed earlier. It was um, maybe a shapeshifter in the form of an unseen horror. Anyway, that's the entrance to the crypt. The crypt has the entrance to tomb, which tomb has a rune. But the tomb rune is the most difficult one to get, pretty much. I don't get it. Never. It was super broken, but it was so fun blowing up all sorts of nasty potions. Yeah, just throwing potions of decay back when they existed. Mm. It was really, really strong. For a level 3 spell, that was also so crazy. Do you fly or are you giant? Oh, you fly. This is a pretty fantastic setup. As long as I don't stumble upon dudes that have launchers, like these Yaktars, I can just sit here and kill everything. This is great. Evaporate was level 2. I think Fulsome Distillation was level 2 and Evaporate was level 3. So yeah, they were really, really early game spells, and they were so powerful that you could theoretically win the game with them. Ignite poisonous vapors, anyone? I mean, it's obviously not in the same power level, but they still like kind of qualify for the criteria of very early game spell that just wins you the game. Um, Ooh, another enchant weapon. I'm not gonna get it because that's definitely not my priority, but I'm gonna put it in my wish list. I might want to get the potion of magic, however. I have 3. What about heal wounds? I have 4. It's very expensive. I'm not gonna get it. Some shops charge you a lot. The shops that sell antiques are the ones that charge you the most. You have to keep that in mind. It's not like there's anything that you can do to reduce the cost of the items in the shop, but you might want to just not buy it and hold on to your money to hopefully find a shop that sells it for cheaper, or just find the item on the floor. It is something that I sometimes do, specifically with items that cost a lot of money. Like, for example, Experience Evocables. There are some shops that sell them for 1200 gold, and some shops that also sell them for as cheap as 400 gold. So yeah, it depends on how much you need the specific Experience Evocable. I feel like I would only pay 1200 gold for File of Lots, because File of Lots is, in my opinion, the most powerful one. Okay, I'm about to get 20. Ooh, dude, Firestorm is at 30%? That's magical. Yeah, I'm just gonna get it now. You add the spell Firestorm to your library. Sweet. I still cannot really cast it. At 30%, bad things can happen if I cast it. Miscasting this spell causes magical contamination, also deals up to 50 irresistible or fire damage. 50. I have 120 HP. I better abstain from casting it then. But yeah, it's gonna be so good when I cast it. Oh, you're recalling. Ooh, that's unfortunate. I'm okay, I think. I would like to believe that I'm okay here. Cannot hit the orange brain. I need to move once to hit the orange brain. Ouch. No, this is bad. This is bad now. The orange brain summoned all these star elephants. Normally I would just completely ignore the summons and just focus on killing the dudes, but this character cannot ignore the summons. They actually deal a ton of damage to my character. Anyway, back to conjurations and fire. We are getting really, really close to Firestorm. It's at 30% with my buckler on. Without the buckler, it's probably going to be at way less than 30%. Okay, yeah, this is bad. If I had Firestorm, this would be the perfect time to use it, but I still do not have it. Is Tomb the place to compare to DSF? Is Tomb the place I compare to DSF? I don't remember. I think I did make a comparison, but maybe no. Like the only comparison that I did between Kochmind and Kroll was like that one time that I got thrown into the place where there were a lot of those big robots, the 2x2 robots. That one I thought that I was sent to the abyss. That was to me. It's being sent to the abyss. Um, but yeah, I don't remember mentioning DSF and Tomb. I guess Tomb is similar to DSF in the regard that if you don't know what's up, you're just gonna die. That may be the one comparison. Yeah, Tomb is like one of the places in the game where in Crawl where you have a non-zero chance of just dying as a direct result of not knowing. Okay, pretty good blink. It was random, of course, so could have not landed me there. Yeah, I can just not use that then. It's fine. Ouch. Better close the door. As I told you, these layouts are not the most favorable layouts for my character. My character would prefer to just fight in an open space like this, accompanied by my Spellforge Servitor, which pretty much doubles my damage output because I cast something and the Servitor also casts something. Whoa, I got hit once through poison resistance and I got so poisoned. You're seriously poisoned, 86 to 13. That is through one source of regen and poison resistance. So yeah, I need to heal that. I have 6 curing, so it's fine. That was unlucky. These guys can apply insane amounts of poison. But it is unlikely for such a thing to happen if you have poison resistance. I really, really want Firestorm. Like, this would be a situation where Firestorm would be priceless. I am going to use Fireball as a poor elf's Firestorm. But we're really, really close to Firestorm. I should step away from the wall. In case you don't know, like, I want to step away from the wall because of this spell. Calls forth freezing cold from the walls and other similarly solid terrain. All enemies of the caster standing next to that terrain will be frozen, will find their movements slowed. It also deals a ton of damage. It deals 3 dice of 19 that partially bypasses cold resistance. It also completely bypasses evasion because it's an explosion that comes from the walls. So yeah, it's pretty nasty. Those guys are vile. Kilroy, if you're still here, I would recommend you to take a look at maybe my tutorial, or not the tutorial series, sorry. I would recommend you to look at my spell overview series that I'm doing on YouTube. I release one episode every week, and I talk about every spell pretty much, or every spell in a single school. I do one video per school. I'm not done with the series yet. But yeah, I am well on my way with the series. From the schools that I have, like the ones that I have not done yet are hexes, summoning, necromancy, and conjurations. Those are the four that I have not done. I like conjuration; it's like one of my favorites. But hexes, summoning, and necromancy are like my three least favorites easily. So so yeah, that's why I wanted to postpone them the most. I also want to see the necromancy rework before making that specific video. Um, Necromancy would be your favorite? It is complicated. I feel like you maybe would like a god like Jeredelem Null. You should check out Jeredelem Null. Oh, summons are good. This is a summon. Yeah, this is a summon, and it's just casting Crystal Spear for me. It is a very specific summon. That's like a high level summon that casts a spell in your library. So you kind of need a character like the one I have for this specific summon to be good. But there's others like Haunt, there's Summon Horrible Things, there's Malin Gateway, there's Dragon's Call, even Summon Cactus Giant and Summon Hydra are pretty good. I wouldn't try to win the game with Summon Hydra, but Summon Cactus Giant can probably get you pretty far into the game. Um, so yeah, there's quite a lot of summonings. Not only that, but the summoning was recently buffed in like 0.28, I think. Summons used to give you halved experience. Now they give you the entirety of the experience, which makes the summoner start significantly less miserable than it used to be, which is a pretty nice thing. Yeah. Okay, how much money do I have? Almost 1200 gold. Still not nearly enough for me to want to go into the bazaar. Yeah. I like to call the stationary ones bazaars and the ones that are ephemeral caravans, because the caravan goes away and the bazaar doesn't go away; it just stays there. Um, Okay, we're getting pretty close to being able to cast Firestorm. In fact, I am gonna try to take off the buckler right now. Let's take a look at it. 17%. 17%. We're really, really close to being able to cast it. I feel like if I put on maybe a ring of wizardry, which makes me able to, like, it makes me sorry for that. It makes it easier for me to cast the spells. That's what Wizardry does. If I put that on and took off the buckler, maybe I would be able to cast it at like 10%. But I can also just wait a bit. I don't need to be impatient. I can just keep keep it up like I'm doing right now, and very soon I'll be able to cast it at like 10% or so without the buckler. As I mentioned before, when I first learned Firestorm, I think that around 20 skill in fire and conjurations I'll be able to cast it, thanks to my intelligence. And also thanks to Vehumet, also important to mention it, Vehumet's spell enhancement helps you for the entirety of the game if you cast some really, really high level spells like this character is going to do. Um, I'm gonna go do Depths. No, I'm gonna go do Elf. I think Elf is the way to go now. My character is well suited for Elf. I have a lot of willpower. In fact, I could even take off that ring of willpower that I currently have on, replace it for that other ring. Mm, yeah, like I want to buy that ring. Potentially even buy that ring and take off this ring. Um, I would be losing the 6 dexterity, but I don't think I care too much. Upsides is that I gain 4 strength, and I lose 9 mana, but the ring has resistance to corrosion, willpower, 3 pips of fire resistance. Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. See, Invisible is also a nice little bonus. Okay, I'll buy it. I'll buy it because I think it's very unlikely that I'm gonna find anything better than that. It really is a massive ring. Mm, One of the greatest rings that I've seen all year. Not even joking. Mm, okay, give me that. Okay, let's get rid of this and this. Let's put this on. The game warns you because it has a drain property, which means that when you take it off, it drains you a bit. But who really cares about getting drained? Like, or more importantly, or more precisely, what I want to say is that I couldn't care any less about the drain property on that ring because that ring is never being removed from my finger. That's gonna stay with me for the rest of the game. It is that good. Now I would like to maybe have another ring. Maybe this one. Like this one can be a placeholder. Um, yeah, like just to have the extra mana and dexterity. But like I would like to replace it with a ring of intelligence or a ring of maybe wizardry. Yeah, I'm not gonna pay 450 for a ring of wizardry. Not that I could anyway. Yeah, look at these resistances. The only thing that I do not have and that I would like to have is resistance to negative. That would be nice for Elf because those Death Magi deal a lot of damage with their Bolt of Draining. Um, But yeah, you can certainly play the summoner playstyle in this game. In fact, if you like summons, you can go for the Shining One. The Shining One's main focus is not really supporting summons, but it kinda does support summons because it does have an ability that Goth, the Shining One, the Shining One. Yeah, lots of text. The Shining One has a lots of abilities. Um, but yeah, you and your allies can gain power from killing the unholy and evil. So the Shining One extends the duration of your allies, sometimes heals them. It's pretty nice when you kill the unholy and evil. You have a halo, so that reveals monsters that are invisible. So your allies that don't seem visible, your summons, can attack the things that are invisible. The Shining One is nice for summoner playstyle. You can also just go for getting the single highest summon that you can cast when reasonably armored, and instead of just playing a spellcaster that spams summons, be kind of like a melee character that fights alongside its summon, and it's pretty good. Yeah, I prefer that build of melee of summoner a lot more than just hiding behind your summons. I very much prefer not to play like that, just like hiding behind my summons. And in a sense, Spellforge Servitor is kinda that. Like I cast it and it is fighting alongside me. So yeah, that's why I've been casting Spellforge Servitor so much. These deep elves can be extremely dangerous and scary, but I have a very good damage output, so I am not really afraid. They also don't have that much HP, so even if I was to encounter something like a deep elf archer who has repel missiles, I can just cast Fireball or just run towards it and cast Irradiate. This place also has dancing weapons, but Irradiate does very well against the dancing weapons. It is a really, really good spell for them. And yeah, repelling missiles. So for the Elf Archers, we have Irradiates. Demonologist can banish me. In theory, in practice it can't. Like, dude, I have 5 pips of willpower right now. Oh, I have 4. Never mind. Well, still, it is a lot of willpower. Way more than necessary to not get banished. I think I could take off an item of willpower, ideally my body armor, replace it for something better, and I would still be fine. I would love to replace it for Archmagi if it came to me. Archmagi is an omni spell enhancer, so it just enhances everything, like the Staff of Conjuration does, and it increases the damage that I deal, so it makes fights last less, which is a pretty good thing. Mm-hmm. Or the ultimate thing for me to find would be like the Robe of Folly. The Robe of Folly is an artifact. I can look it up nowadays. Item Robe of. I bet I can just search for Folly. Yeah, there you go. And the game tells you about the Robe of Folly. It has brilliance, it sets your willpower to 0, and it gives you 8 intelligence. So this is really, really glass cannon-y. To begin with, it's a robe. Brilliance is fantastic because it halves the cost of your spells. So Firestorm goes from costing 9 mana to costing 5 mana, which is massive, but it sets your willpower to 0, so anything that has a hex is immediately overwhelmingly terrifying when you're using that. I have a run with that item in my YouTube channel. It is easily the most powerful character that I've ever had, but it does take playing very, very carefully. If you do not play right when you're using that item, you're just gonna get killed immediately upon putting it on. Have I done a HEP run recently? I remember that I did a HEP run rather recently, but I do not know if it ended well. But I did do a HEP run. It can kind of remind me of a servitor run, but you can't just recast it when they die, and you have to wait for it to respawn. There's just other benefits and abilities. I guess the most similar thing to servitor is like maybe Conjurer, but the thing about Servitor is that it's so incredibly strong. Wow, that's a lot of weapons of chaos. And is this like okay? For a second, I thought that this was like kind of a rework of the Hollow Blades, but it very much is not the case. Yeah, I shouldn't open that. You open that and you get killed. That's how it is. But yeah, I think let's see if I can ping it in the bot. I don't remember how to do it, but I'm gonna try. Last game or this game, Night Settler, Kep. Oh, I remember. Experience level 17, Ogre Wizard of Hep, slain by a 27-headed Hydra skeleton on Swamp 4. I think what happened there was that I was petrifying or something, or I was paralyzed, and I read teleport, and I teleported into the Hydra skeleton, and I died, or I blinked into it. I don't remember exactly how I died, but yeah. That's my most recent HEP character. It was 2 weeks ago. And I think after that character, I just took a break from Crawl and I went to Kochmind. I think HEP is strong. I kind of like HEP. It's not the worst thing ever. Okay. Let's take off the buckler. Not wearing the buckler anymore. Okay, I forgot to put it on, but Firestorm is at 12%. We're very close to being able to use it. What happens if I put this on? Obviously no change because nothing really has any encumbrance rating in my gear. I am going to put on the buckler now just to see how this looks with the buckler. 16%, it's not terrible, but definitely do not wanna have it on right now, like the gloves that I currently have. Let's go back to the ones that I had before. Harm is a scary thing to have equipped. Yeah, precisely. This is a pretty good example of why harm is scary. Hurl Damnation and Cold Damnation, which I guess you cannot see in tiles. Let's switch to console for a second. Hurl Damnation and Cold Damnation don't check evasion, don't check armor class. They always hit you if the monster chooses to use them. They are an explosion, so they can hit you if they target an ally of yours. And it's 3 dice of 15, 3 dice of 20. It's not negligible damage like the 7 to 17 that the orc priests have. So that's pretty scary. Yeah, that damage gets further enhanced when you're using harm, so yeah, better not to have it equipped for a part of the game where it's like full of dudes that can do that, which is self. yeah, sorcerers and high priests can hit you with damnation. Azrael is not what I really had in mind, but Azrael also fits the criteria of a monster that can use those spells, so I just used Azrael as an example. All the monsters that have those hit you for that amount of damage, 3 dice of 15 or 3 dice of 20. That doesn't scale with monster hit dice or anything. Okay, pretty good. What was that? I mean, it's good, but it's not what I need with this character. I would not put that on with this character. Wouldn't equip it. Yeah, on a character that's using two-handed polearms, however, I would be very happy to find that. In this game, monsters can trigger some traps. Like if the monster steps on a trap, it triggers and it affects you negatively. So you generally don't want to fight in the line of sight of a trap, or if you have to, you want to manipulate the monsters so that they don't step on the trap while they are walking towards you. That will come into play in the end game because SOT 5 specifically is full of traps. And full of open areas and monsters that can step on them and therefore completely destroy you. Can be quite nasty. Okay, level 3 of Elf. It has one shop and a ghost bolt. And it also has a huge bolt full of high-level angry elves and a lot of loot that I don't want to deal with just yet. When it comes to Elf 3 and other levels, most importantly SOT 5, I try to clear as much of the level as possible to try to make it so that I do not, or like I maximize my possibilities of survival if I was to need to teleport in those levels. Okay, so far the only high level elf that we have seen has been the demonologist, but we have been okay because we just have pretty good damage output, so the demonologist is not really that scary. Firestorm is at 13% with the buckler. That means that if I take off the buckler, I will be able to cast it. Yeah, it's at 11%. Okay, goodbye buckler. Yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of the buckler now. Distillery. Okay, I'll buy those later on. And these. And these. Yeah, but that's it. I could buy invisibility, but I don't value them that highly. Later on, you start seeing more and more monsters that seem invisible, so it becomes less and less good. Is that an artifact? It's not. It's a normal ring. If it's a normal ring, it's very unlikely that it's gonna be better than what I already have. So I am not interested in really fighting that guy. At least not until I can cast Firestorm reliably. Yeah, just like Maiden cast a Firestorm. You see that? That was really good. Let's do it again. That looks like a pretty good spot for Firestorm. There we go. The elves have such low HP that they just get one shot by Firestorm. Firestorm deals pretty fantastic damage, however. 8 dice of 16 in a huge area of effect and also leaves fire vortices. It's pretty nice. Yeah, glowing orb. Okay, considering that I am shieldless, maybe I am interested in picking up and maybe using that orb. It's an orb of mayhem. It causes weaknesses of the wearer skills to go into a frenzy, attacking everything nearby with great strength and speed. Okay, let's give that a try. I hope that it doesn't kill me. It might kill me. Spoilers, it might kill me. But I feel like it's gonna be fun to use in this place. Is duration of poison or resistance random? It is kinda random. It lasts for a pretty good amount of time, but it can sometimes wear off pretty fast. I have noticed that. Anyway, now that I have Firestorm, I cannot put it on the quiver yet. but I will eventually put it on the quiver, and yeah, there we go. It's gonna be pretty good. But Firestorm deals incredible amounts of noise as well. I think it deals more noise than Fireball. Yeah, it does deal more noise than Fireball. Um, does make more noise than Fireball. So it's a pretty good spell. Since I'm with Vehumet, it also hits outside of my line of sight, which is something that very rarely spells are gonna be able to do. Also, I shouldn't have taken that hatch because it could have placed me in the Hollow Blades, and that could have been disastrous. Fortunately, it was not the case. I want to put on these gloves now. And then just like use Firestorm for the rest of the game. 10 to 29 turns. Yeah, it doesn't scale. Duration of those kinds of buffs doesn't scale. The only thing that you can influence the scaling of, like the duration of, is things that you cast yourself or like you do yourself instead of using a thing. So pretty much no potions, but yes, like spells and god abilities, that kind of thing. Dude, doing this with Firestorm feels so much like cheating. It feels like cheating so hard, dude. Oh, I finally got a miscast of Firestorm. Finally got a miscast. There we go. Firestorm is such a good spell because, well, it's very self-explanatory. What I'm doing here is the reason why you want to go into Firestorm in the first place. It's a ridiculously powerful spell. It hits things from pretty much outside your line of sight or from very far away, so it's very safe to use. And it just deals crazy high damage. So the downside of it is that it's very expensive. That is important to mention. Yeah, level 9 Dual School is literally the highest costing spell in the entirety of the game. There's no spell that comes remotely close to costing as much as a level 9 Dual School spell. That ring is bad. That ring is not bad, but it's not what I need right now. I guess I could put it on because actually the main reason why I was using this ring of the coward now that I have the other ring is that I wanted the 6 dexterity. So I guess I'll just put on this ring of 6 dexterity and have 12 strength. The damage is also drastically increased because I have harm equipped. So harm is gonna be very dangerous for me if I happen to get hit. But the plan of this build kind of is not getting hit at all. So yeah, it just increases the possibility that I get one shot if when I do get hit, which is not good, of course. But what am I going to do? Be a deep elf with Firestorm and not use these amazing harm gloves that I just got? No, like nah. That's a pretty good tower shield. If tower shields were good, I would be very happy to use this on a different character. However, tower shields are in a pretty rough spot now that the magic number for tower shields was removed. It used to be 25, now it is 27. Like if you want to use a tower shield without any kind of penalty, you need 27 shields. And before that, it actually affects your things a lot. It is very noticeable. It's a shame that it is like that, but that's just how it is. Tower shields, in my opinion, need a bit of a buff. 6 intelligence is better than 6 dexterity. Okay, hold on. Goodbye, 6 dexterity. Hello, 6 intelligence. And Firestorm is at 5%. It's looking pretty good. So now I already have enough conjurations to cast Crystal Spear. I can just push Earth Magic to like 16 or so and replace Iron Shot with Crystal Spear. At that point, I would also just Amnesia Iron Shot. If I can just cast Crystal Spear, but it might not be the greatest idea to do that. Putting Crystal Spear on the quiver might have some undesired results, such as running out of mana and dying because you ran out of mana. Nah, I don't need that. Okay. The ring of protection is nice, but it is not the thing that my character needs right now. I guess I can carry it. Hmm. Let's see what else we got. The Crown of Dairo de Prueba. Okay, I think I would like to use that. Yes, I think I would like to use that. My current hat is. I mean, I do want to take it off, but the thing is, if I take it off, I lose cold resistance, and resistances are nice to prevent myself from getting one shot. But I guess I can just run around wearing the crown of Dairo de Prueba. It gives me 2 intelligence after all. The resistance to electricity obviously doesn't do anything, but the intelligence is okay. I feel like a helmet of intelligence would just be straight up better. Hey, there was a ring of intelligence there. So there is kind of a small incentive for me to fight that guy. Not enough incentive for me to actually fight it. Jing Warper. Immune to poison, negative energy, and torment. Resistant to electricity, fire, steam, miasma, and drowning. Uh, It has Ball Lightning, Blink, Agony. It has some pretty nasty spells. Ball Lightning being one of the most nasty ones. It has Summon Hydra as well. That's also really scary. I don't want to mess with that guy. And I have nothing to gain out of fighting that one. So I'm done here. I already killed all the elves and checked all the loot and picked up what I liked and left behind what I didn't like. So now that I have Firestorm, I can go do Slime. I can also go do Depths, hopefully finding some better, well, some source of cold resistance. That's kind of an important thing for me to have before I go into Slime. What's up with you? Oh, Frenzy. That's right. Frenzy. I forgot about it. I didn't even notice it when I was doing Elf. Um, I didn't notice the Frenzy. Mm, okay, what do we train for now? Because I could train for Earth Magic. Okay, I'll train Earth Magic. Okay, okay, you convince me. I'll train Earth Magic. I'll train 12 Earth Magic. Mm. Okay, we should be fine now. We should be completely fine. Um, I wonder if I'm going to regret using the Orb of Mayhem, or more precisely, when I'm going to regret using the Orb of Mayhem. I wonder if it's gonna happen immediately, or like if it's gonna take me a while for me to regret using it. But yeah, what it does is that it makes things fast, strong, and neutral. So they won't go out of your way, out of their way to attack you. They will attack whatever is closest to them, which can sometimes be you. And if it's you, you just gave them a massive buff. So yeah, it is definitely not the greatest thing ever. It is a high risk item on a high risk build, so sure, I guess I'll have it on until that gets me killed, of course. You miscast Firestorm. I took 18 damage from miscasting Firestorm. Okay. I like the experience of casting Firestorm and getting mana back. Like, actually starting the next turn with more mana than I had before, which is caused thanks to Vehumet. The entrance to depths that we got was pretty rough, but we fortunately were able to just deal with it. This guy is really scary. Yeah, just gonna push it away or kill it. I wonder if I can put on Troll Letter Armor now. Yeah, maybe I would like to wear Troll Letter Armor now that I have 12 strength instead of the 2 strength that I had before. Maybe I could use the ice scales, but that's pushing it a bit too much. I don't think I would ever be able to put them on. But I guess I can try. And ice scales do provide me with very important cold resistance that I do not have and that I do want. So I'll try them on these ice scales with 9 strength. The 9 strength part of them is why I want to try them. Mm. Firestorm goes to 16% chance to miscast, despite the fact that I have 21 strength when I'm using them. It's pretty funny how like this character went from having 2 strength to having 21 strength while I'm wearing these. But yeah, they're not really usable unless I want to train more spellcasting, conjurations, and fire magic. I feel like at 23 fire magic and conjurations or so, I should be able to cast quite well. And I also should get around 12 armor or so. These numbers are just estimates based on previous characters that I've had that with that amount of skill and these stats kind of like can do that kind of thing. But yeah, let's just go maybe get throw letter armor. Running out of space in crawl is a minor annoyance. In Cogmind, it was a very fundamental design aspect of the game, but in crawl is just a minor annoyance. Up to the point where like I kind of wonder why we don't have unlimited inventory space. But on the other hand, I kind of understand why that is, because people would literally carry everything, and just like juggle their items like crazy, and that's really annoying. Um, okay, I can drop Berserk, I can drop Might. I can drop Attraction. Yeah, at this point we can drop Attraction. I have Firestorm. If anything, I would like the opposite of Attraction, but such a thing doesn't really exist. I can drop Silence and never pick up Silence again. I don't want to accidentally typo into picking it up and using it and then dying as a result of it. My character gets absolutely destroyed by Silence because it stops being a character and it becomes a 120 HP goblin pretty much, because I don't have damage output if I'm silenced. And I also don't have a lot of survivability if I am silenced. So yeah, better not be silenced, period. Alright, let's go back to depths. Ouch. Can I persuade you not to kill me? That was pretty rough. Going down into taking 50 damage. Oh, no, 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 no. In this game, if you can hit yourself with something, the game tells you, hey, are you sure you want to hit yourself with this thing that could literally kill you? So that's a pretty nice thing about the game. Okay. I didn't check the throw letter, but I really should do that. Firestorm has a very large physical component. Like it doesn't only deal fire damage, and by extension, it is very easy for you to actually kill things that are immune to fire, such as those Hell Knights with it. You see these magicians, they cannot do such damage. You tried magicians, but you cannot get far. Mostly you tried Gene of Ice Magic. In terms of gameplay, well, mages are very different than other than melee characters. Like they're completely opposite, pretty much. You cannot play and approach situations with a mage the way that you would with a melee character. You can be in a situation with a mage where you're at full HP, but you have very little mana, and you should disengage because you have no mana, and therefore you cannot kill things. Not only that, but you also need to, keep in mind, can I kill the things that I have on the screen right now with the amount of mana that I have? Because if I can't, maybe I should just try to retreat or not take the fight in the first place. That kind of thing. You get a servitor out before you're silenced, it might still be able to cast the spells. I don't know if it does, if it gets silenced. I might want to check that out. Um, might want to check that out. Also, I definitely want to try this throw letter. It's very low impact, so much that I feel like I can use it. Before committing to it, however, let's see. Let's see. Insane Leech. Petrify 12%. It's kind of rough. These are some of the highest leveled hexers in the game. There's very few things that can hex you with higher power than a Leech. So yeah, 12% is kind of high. But I feel like it might be okay. I am going to wear it, but I'm not going to enchant it, and by slot I'm probably going to switch back to the row of willpower, so I have double sources of willpower, and I do not die as a result of not having enough willpower to be pretty much immune to their thing. You're playing Deep Elf because it's good magician, or is it just random keep pick? I like Deep Elves a lot. It's very, very glass cannony. It's incredibly glass cannony, and I like it because they become like such powerful spellcasters, and they just like have a lot of intelligence. So yeah, I'm playing it because it's good spellcaster pretty much. Saint Roca. Saint Roca is kind of a joke for a character with Firestorm. Okay, Saint Roca just became frenzied, so Saint Roca is gonna kill the entirety of the band, or die, or the two of them. One way gateway to a ziggurat. With Firestorm, with Harm, maybe I could do a ziggurat, but the thing is that I didn't pick up Ignition. I needed ignition to do this. Not only that, but I also need refrigeration. I feel like ignition, refrigeration, firestorm, and shatter, maybe polar vortex as well, are very important spells to bring to a ziggurat. So yeah, if I was to do it, I would probably not finish it. Not with only firestorm. Anyway, I hope that this character finds the Robe of Folly. If we find the Robe of Folly, I'm gonna put it on, and I would do extended. But that's in the very weird case that we do end up finding the Robe of Folly, which is probably not gonna happen, because it's a really, really rare item to find. Okay, the Iron Troll didn't die. How is my Crystal Spear looking? I can put it on the quiver. Dude, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put Crystal Spear on the quiver. I hope that I do not die as a direct result of doing that. But yeah, how much damage does this deal, actually? 10 dice of 15. You know, it's pretty good damage. It's definitely not shabby at all. My first one deals 8 dice of 18, but yeah, 10 dice of 15 is quite a lot. Firestorm, however, is hits a huge area of effect instead of just being single target. So yeah, keep that in mind. All right, I'll train some fighting. Training fighting increases your maximum HP, so you do want to do it even on the squishiest characters like this Deep Elf. Okay, the Spriggan Mage is never gonna get hit by the Crystal Spear. I'm just gonna Firestorm it. You cannot see your melee damage when you look at a weapon. That's not that's not true anymore. You can. There's damage rating. Of course, the damage rating on my Vampiric Demon Blade right now is absolutely garbage because I have no training pretty much. But yeah, you can see it now. It's like a rough estimate. It's not exactly the damage, and there's like a lot of variance. It's like a rough estimate of an average. Pretty nice new thing, new addition to the game. It's not in stable yet, so if you only play stable, you're not gonna see that for a while, but it will be there in the next stable version of the game, which is gonna release in like August or so. When did this happen? Isn't it happened at least 2 weeks ago or so, and it is indeed in trunk. It's a pretty cool change. I definitely agree with that. Um, Very happy with the change. Okay, looking pretty good. Yep, this character is just really, really strong at this point. I don't know if you've noticed, but I haven't really been casting Servitor. The reason for that is that Servitor kinda became obsolete once I got Farstorm. Also, I should get some amnesia. I have 2 amnesias in the entirety of the game. Dang, that's a really low amount of amnesia for the amount of spells that I am considering 2 amnesia. To begin with, I would like to forget about Iron Shot probably because I have Crystal Spear. Yeah, I'll forget Iron Shot. Why do you need amnesia? Amnesia forgets about spells, freeing up their spell slots, allowing you to get other spells. So in this case, I have 11, and I can get. I could train for Shatter. I could definitely train for Shatter. I could train for Polar Vortex. I could hope to get lucky and find the ignition that I wasn't able to learn, and also get ignition. Or refrigeration. I have refrigeration in bookshop because I found a Sucubus autobiography. Yeah, that book has refrigeration, so I could also get refrigeration from there. Considering my character, I could cast that without a lot of complications. Yeah, I could get like 14 ice magic, maybe even less than that, considering my high level in spellcasting and be able to cast it very easily. Mm. Um, Alrighty, let's continue. Let's continue. Let's go do more of depths. Whoo, that's not good. Yeah, that looks like a set of stairs that I don't want to take. Mm. Mystic Blast has been a very nice part of this character's build. Ever since I got it, it has been constantly saving me from situations where I otherwise would have died due to my extreme squishiness. Ooh, boy, the Fairy Dragon Scales. Take a look at that. Good stuff.
My wife still doesn't believe in me.
Inon, thank you for the gift of to Butterfly, aka Flutterby. I appreciate it. Yeah, take a look at this. The Enchantress is about to get completely deleted off the face of the earth. One shot from full HP. The Enchantress just died and didn't even realize what happened. The Enchantress. First and most fearful of her kind, the Enchantress rules over the Spriggans of the dungeon. She wears an opalescent outfit made of dragon skin that shimmers with many colors. Yeah, she doesn't hit that hard, but the scary part about the Enchantress is that she has a hex that is capped at like 33% chance to fail, that just removes willpower from you temporarily, and that obviously makes you vulnerable to other of her hexes. She also comes accompanied by some high-level Spriggans, like Spriggan Defenders and stuff. She's pretty nasty. But fortunately, because of my character's Firestorm and Harm, I can just kill her from the edge of the screen without without a lot of complications. This is a power level that you just straight up never get to when you are a melee character, unless you're a manifold assault dragon form or storm form melee character. But those are those really melee characters? They're more like spellcasters. Anyway, the Fairy Dragon Scales are an on-run dart. whenever they generate, they always come with the Enchantress. So like the Enchantress is always carrying them, but they are always different. The only thing that's always the same about them is the name and the resistance to corrosion. They can also have some weird properties that you do not get to see in normal Randards, such as extra HP, for example. But it is rare that they have extra HP. I think I've only seen it like once or twice. Hydra is literally 5 head. Yeah, it is. It is indeed 5 head. 5-headed Hydra, lol. Yeah. Where was the? Oh yeah, the downstairs that I took before were these ones. It's like a small secluded vault. Pretty sure completely separated from the rest of the level. So yeah, he didn't want to be there. That's the antithesis of the arena where I would like to take fights on, being the kind of character that I am right now. Ooh, Crystal Tome is very scary. I got killed by one of those when they were introduced. I got them nerfed. Yeah, they are pretty crazy strong. They summon two 3 dice of 40 crystal spears that just shoot themselves at you. Pretty much the next turn, unless you kill them before they can shoot themselves at you. But yeah, it's really, really nasty. Fortunately, I have Firestorm, and so it should not survive 2 of them. It really, really should not survive 2 of them. Okay, I'm starting to reconsider the usage of the Orb of Mayhem, not because it's dangerous to me, but because it doesn't trigger. Like when it triggers, I feel like I have to kill the thing that got affected by it. I should probably turn off auto pickup from scrolls or rings of protection. I don't think I'm gonna be putting it on. I think I like my current loadout with 41 intelligence. I want to see that slimy plate. Damn, that's not good. That's pretty bad. It's 3 bad properties and 10 strength. Yeah, that's very hard to use, almost impossible. I thought that the bolt was gonna be completely secluded from the rest of the level, but it was not the case. I just Firestorm the guy, and it doesn't really matter. I also don't have to open that. That's a rune translucent door. It's funny that the description doesn't say it, but the rune doors do not. The monsters cannot open these. That's what they are. Why they are ruined. The monsters cannot open them. In order for the monsters to go through them, you have to open them first. And if you see a rune door, it's a wise thing to do to just not engage with it and just walk away, because it can get you killed, literally. And sometimes very easily. I don't know what's in there. All that I see is a bunch of giants, and I have very low HP. Not only that, but I'm also wearing harm, so I would prefer not to have anything to do with that. Okay, we found the Necronomicon, but it doesn't have Haunt anymore. I could consider using Haunt, but nah. I have Firestorm now. Firestorm is exactly what I wanted to do with this character from the very beginning, and it's performing exactly how I expected it to do. This is a pretty nice character to come back to Crawl after so long. It was only like 2 weeks or so, but it still felt like an eternity. I really missed Crawl. By the way, my Firestorm is at 5%. 5%. I could put on that Buckler of Fire Resistance. Not that I need to. Yeah, if it was a Buckler of Cold Resistance, I would be more compelled to use it. Yeah. No Buckler of Cold Resistance. Only a Kite Shield, but a Kite Shield would mess with my spellcasting a bit too much. Okay, I think the high amount of stealth that I have is also doing quite a lot for me because monsters don't immediately realize me or like realize that I am there whenever I am there. So it allows me to get first strike on them, and usually my first strikes are pretty deadly. It will sometimes not be the case, of course, because there's monsters that are immune to fire or highly resistant to fire, and those monsters wouldn't really be hurt that much by Firestorm. But but yeah, anything that's not fire resistant just kinda dies from a single firestorm, thanks to my high spell power and my harm and my spell enhancer. I guess the spell enhancer and the extra spell power kinda like are a bit redundant, but yeah. The stars didn't really align for this character, but I did end up finding some pretty good stuff that have made this character into a very powerful character. I have 3 pips of fire resistance, so even though I have harm, I am not afraid of these guys, and I can just walk away and position them so that they all get hit by my firestorms. Um, so that's pretty good. Okay. Do not forget that you can hit monsters outside of your line of sight with Firestorm. So in that situation, I manipulated my line of sight so that I could hit the Fire Dragon while it couldn't hit me. That's such a busted effect that you don't really get access to normally. With like most of the spells in the game, you cannot do such a thing. Only with something like Firestorm. By the way, Orb of Mayhem doing its thing again. Okay, pretty good blink. The Caustic Strike was scary. Caustic Strikes can deal crazy high damage, even with resistance to corrosion. So, fortunately, I was able to kill it. Yeah, at this point, it's very difficult for me to make a mistake. However, I can still die as a result of making a mistake or two. For example, maybe using this Orb of Mayhem is a massive mistake and maybe I should take it off. I really am leaning towards feeling like that. I am gonna just drop it. I think I'm just gonna drop it. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna get rid of it. Carrying it has not given me many satisfactions. Like it's not been situations where I just needed that, and in the opposite, it's created situations where I feel endangered. So it's not the kind of item that I like. Period. People feel like it's strong, and I am inclined to agree, but I also think that it's not the kind of item that suits me, especially not on this character. Okay, I may want to open that. Okay, this is going well. Definitely has not been dangerous or difficult at all. Dude, this character is just on another level of power now. But that's how deep elves get if you get them later in the game. Most species get really strong after a certain point. It's very rare that a species starts trash and remains trash for the entirety of the game. It almost never happens. Okay. There is a fine hat over there and a bunch of potions of mutation, including a ghost. Let's take a look at the ghost. The ghost doesn't have any spells, and it does have 2 pips of fire resistance, but that's kind of a joke. I am going to do that. But for this one, I think I may want to re-teleport. Wait a turn, open the door. We get hit for 42. That's okay. Those ones, those wolves and stuff that you saw in there were shapeshifters, in case it wasn't obvious enough. Like the bolt is super thematic around mutations with cacodemons and ugly things and clouds of mutagenic fogu, which do not normally generate. Um, so yeah, the ghost was really easy to kill. We're pretty much done with this bolt and this level. At this point, like the character already has a power level necessary to just go into SOT, murder everything, get the orb, and get out of here. But I still have to go through the formality of getting a third rune, which is gonna be slime. Slime is the fastest third rune to get. Okay, the hat is not good. I'll get the potions. I already have the phantom mirror. Okay, there we go. Good stuff. Now that I have plundered this place for all that it was worth, let's go to the final level of the depths, where I see a salamander. I don't like this ending. Salamanders are scary. Even though they appear in like Snake, they are still kind of scary. However, they're not really scary for this character. It's just that on a melee character, I would be somewhat threatened by the salamanders. On this character, I can just firestorm them to death. And even though all salamanders are immune to fire, they still get absolutely destroyed by firestorm. Not very mana effective, as you can see, or not very mana efficient. So I ran out of mana before I could kill them all, and I felt forced to use Profane Servitor, or not Profane Servitor, Spellforce Servitor. Made a lot of noise, so better retreat, go down different stairs. You know, having a Crystal Spear on the quiver, I can see why Sky liked Crystal Spear. Does that kill me? I feel like it does kill me on a pretty bad roll. I am unlikely to have to blink anymore, so I'm just gonna do this and then do this. That just killed the frost giant. Sorry, I didn't want to risk getting hit by it, like failing to kill it with firestorm and then killing it. So that's why I just blinked away. Because I did have the damage output to kill it in a single attack, but on an unlucky roll, I wouldn't have killed it, and on an extremely unlucky roll, not only I wouldn't have killed it, but it also would have killed me in retaliation. So that's why I did it. You need to play around that kind of thing, like just don't get too overconfident in your power, and don't think, oh yeah, it's not gonna happen, because it may not happen. In fact, like you may be right, it's not gonna happen until it happens, and when it happens, it's gonna get you killed. So yeah, if you don't want such a thing to happen, that's just how you have to play, or how I would recommend you to play. Wow, dude. I got so many miscasts of Firestorm there. I think it was only two, but still, two miscasts of Firestorm is minus 18 mana, which is quite a lot of mana to lose. That was rough. Oh wow, another miscast of Firestorm. Dude, it's at 5%. Getting so many miscasts in a row is most definitely very unfortunate. So I was talking to my cousin yesterday. My cousin who lives in New York, because he's studying in university there. He is from Puerto Vallarta originally. He was born there, but he just oh, I don't have poison resistance. What's up with that? I don't have poison resistance. That's something important to correct before going to SOT. Anyway, as I was saying, I was talking to my cousin, and ever since he went to college, I told him, don't get loans. Please don't get loans, because I've heard so many horror stories about college loans in the U.S. and I don't want my cousin to, be part of that statistic. But he's going for his 5th year at college, and he did take a loan, but it was like very small according to him, and he is already able to fully pay it off as soon as he gets out of school. So that's nice. I'm glad that he went in with a plan when it came to actually getting a loan. Um, yeah, poison resistance wasn't the hat I took off. I took it off because of the slow. Slow is a very bad property to have on a character as fragile as this one. Getting hit once and being slowed could kill me, literally kill me from full HP. So I don't want such a thing to happen. So yeah, I think I am going to get an item that gives me cold poison resistance. I have 2 items of poison resistance. I have the amulet and I have the hat. There's a buckler of poison resistance in depth 3. Give me that. Okay, my firestorm goes to 7%. That's most definitely not an issue. I can still cast it as if it was at 5%. I could also train a bit of extra spell casting. My fighting skill went all the way up to 17. 150 HP is pretty nice. Makes me pretty tanky for a deep elf. I think I'm gonna get like 10 shields. Let's get 22, 21, and 21. And I think like that we should be able to have Firestorm castable. Very nice. Also unfortunate that student loans are not forgiven in case of bankruptcy. I learned about that today. That's pretty messed up in my opinion. Yeah, it's not a very good system. But I knew about that kind of thing before he went to the US. So that's like I didn't really interact with him a lot before he went to the US. But he's like my only cousin that shares some interests with me, like I guess video games and that kind of stuff. He also knew English from very early childhood and stuff um, because his mom spoke to him in English for the entirety of his life, and his dad, my uncle, spoke to him in Spanish, so he just grew with both languages, and naturally he started like consuming content in English and that kind of thing when he grew up and started, getting exposed to the internet. So it was nice. Like when I started connecting with him again, as when I was an adult and started like going to where he lives because he lives in Puerto Vallarta and I live in Mexico City. I have to take like a 2-hour flight to go to Puerto Vallarta. So it's like not difficult for me to get there, but it's still a flight, so it's kind of expensive. And I was not really able to do it until I got like my first job and then vacations and stuff. But by then he was already on his way to college, so I didn't really get to interact with him a lot. But I like him. He's a pretty cool dude. And yeah, that's the only advice that I could give him. Just don't go too crazy on the student loans. So I'm glad that it worked out for him. Mm, Anyway, sorry for talking about that. Completely unrelated to Crawl, but it's just that there's not many interesting things happening here. My character is just at a level of power where it's just absurd. I'm killing things without really taking damage, and if I take damage, it's because it's a situation where, like, I immediately went downstairs and I was surrounded by dudes, and that's like pretty much the only setup for me to take damage. I do feel concerned about my lack of cold resistance. That's like my one concern with this character, the lack of cold resistance. For going into slime, let's get Yeah, I have a robe of cold resistance that I can put on in Snake. So I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna put that on, and I'm gonna go to slime. I don't want to do slime without cold resistance, and I also don't want to do the rest of the game without cold resistance. I'm probably gonna drop the troll letter. I can do the rest of the game without regen, but I cannot do it without cold resistance. And I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to put on these ice dragon skills. Let's go do slime for my third rune. It's gonna be really, really, really fast. Yeah, slime is another lair branch. It is in lair 5. You should not go there unless you know what you're doing, unless you need to get your third rune or a fourth rune. There's some people that used to fear, in my opinion, somewhat irrationally slime. Nowadays, it's not that terrible, but mutations are still a thing that can be a factor when it comes to doing slime. So you have to keep that in mind. You have to play around the possibility of you getting malmutated. The stairs are really close together in slime because you're incentivized to dive it. In general, you don't want to get into very elongated fights in slime because if you do, you are increasing the chances of you getting hit by a malmutating attack and getting the worst mutation in the game, which can just pretty much set you up to get killed with very little counterplay. If you know what you're doing, it's the easiest third rune for a caster, in your opinion. I am inclined to agree, and that's why I'm doing it with this character. Yeah, it's not difficult for a character with very strong area of effect attacks that just one-shot the enemies that they hit, especially in this place, because only one monster here has resistance to fire, and that's the rock slime. The other monsters don't have it. In fact, Azure jellies are weak to fire, so they just get extra dumpstered. But yeah, the character is a very, very much glass cannon kind of character at this point. You remember yesterday someone asked if this character was a glass cannon, and I said that it was more like a glass musket. Now it is more like a glass nuke. Yeah, it's beyond a glass cannon at this point. You still remember the moment where you fought with slimes in closed space and died? It happens. It happens for sure. This is going well so far. I want to find the exit because I got shafted, so I do not have a clear path towards, survival. Okay, there is no way up here. That's unfortunate. Little Piggy Dota, thank you for the follow. I assume that you played Dota. I've never played Dota. I've also never even seen Dota. I've heard that it's like a MOBA, but never been too interested in that. The only one that I played was League, and yeah, I'm done with that. League is too much misery for the average human. As I always tell my friends that if they are too happy with their lives, if they feel like they are doing too well and they need a little bit of misery, they should get a job in a call center. But I should also tell them that if they don't want to get a job in a call center, they could try playing a MOBA because that also fits the quota. But anyway, when it comes to my channel, I do a lot of playing Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. And I have a lot of experience with the game. I've been playing it for a while, and I just enjoy it. I know a lot about it, and I am always very happy to share what I know about the game. I'm always happy to answer questions, that kind of thing. I explain pretty much every decision that I make in the game, so you can understand the rationale behind my choices, and it helps people who watch me. Many people have commented in like Reddit and my videos that my content helps them get much better at Crawl, which is exactly what I'm looking for when I'm doing this. Well, that and being able to eat. That is also a nice upside of streaming, being able to eat for sure. Facts. Facts regarding MOBAs, I assume. Oh, come on. Gonna miscast a Firestorm. We should be fine. My only malmutation is -2 strength. It is completely irrelevant because I'm not wearing anything that is affected by that. So, yeah. Let's continue going down. Okay, final level of the Pits of Slime. No golden eyes or shining eyes, sorry. The shining eyes are the most scary things here because everything else I can one shot, and I can also one shot the shining eye, but the shining eye leaves pretty much permanent damage that is super annoying in the form of bad mutations. So that's like the only thing that I don't wanna just play kinda carelessly around. As I mentioned earlier, the character is in such a state that it's so powerful already that it's very difficult for me to make a mistake. As long as I press the Firestorm button and it kills something, we are in a pretty good spot. I don't think the Royal Jelly gets one shot by this. It's probably gonna get 2 or 3 shot. Gotta walk forward, reveal more slimes, gonna read Immolation to add a bit of extra explosions, and cast it again. And there we go. That's it for the Royal Jelly. And that's it for many dudes that were accompanying well, not accompanying, but that were generated by the Royal Jelly. The only things that have survived are the rock slimes. These are very nasty. These are nightmarish for a melee character. In fact, a pure melee character with like really no ranged option whatsoever would have a very difficult time doing this, just because the Royal Jelly spawns rock slimes among other slimes that it can generate whenever it takes damage. That's its gimmick. It generates like 18 jellies throughout the entirety of the fight. If it goes from full HP to death, it generates 18 jellies. And it does regenerate, so if you do not kill it, the jellies just stay there and more will be generated. So yeah, the Royal Jelly used to not regenerate, so you could just like generate a jelly and then kill the jelly and then generate another one and then kill another one, but that was changed a while ago. Now it regenerates. So you have to kill it in one go or risk just filling the level with jellies that do not give experience, by the way. All the experience that you get from the Royal Jelly fight comes exclusively from the Royal Jelly. The ones that the jelly generates just don't give any experience. I want the money. Talking about that, I got reminded of the bazaar. I'm probably gonna go into the bazaar. Okay, 3 runes, that's enough to enter the realm of Sot. This is another on Randart. So this one, whenever you see the Scepter of Torment, it will always be like this. It's a pretty strong item. It's obviously not an item for my character, but it gives you it gives you like a 5% chance to torment things whenever you tap. It doesn't torment you. It used to be that it also tormented you, and so it was completely worthless. But now it doesn't do that. It's also an Evening Star now, so it's a pretty fantastic weapon. Obviously, not the kind of weapon that I would be interested in using with this character, but pretty good weapon nonetheless. Let's pick up my loot. Before going out, I always check to see what the floor generated. That longbow is fantastic. It's really good. That longbow of Joyful Slaughter. I guess you don't see it on the screen. Let's show it. Yeah, that one in O slot. That's such a beast longbow. Really, really strong. Torment the whole screen or just a target you're smacking? Torment's the whole screen. Um, and yeah, it's torment. It's not agony. It just halves the HP of everything, except for you. It used to also halve your HP, and so it was trash. But it doesn't do that anymore, and that makes it pretty good. Um, so yeah, pretty fantastic item. If you're using maces, you might want to get it. If you're not using maces, you might want to get it regardless. Now let's go to Sot. Oh no, Bazaar. Gateway to a Bazaar. Okay, before going in, I'm gonna drop all my wands, all my potions. That's gonna free up incredible amounts of space in my inventory, and so I will be able to buy pretty much whatever I want from here without regards for my inventory space. So far, I haven't seen anything that I want to buy. Nope. Still nope. No, there's no way. Like I'm not replacing my cloak with a scarf. Even in the best case scenario, where it would be a scarf of repulsion or a scarf of resistance, it's not as strong as a cloak of regen and resistance to electricity. Those properties I very much value. Like I highly value them. Um, I'm just gonna buy everything except for the vulnerability scroll. Okay, still nothing that I'm interested in. All right, it was an okay bazaar. I feel like if I had gotten more money earlier in the game, like one or two more scrolls of acquirements worth of money, I would have gone in here and been very happy to find like a scarf and a helmet and a bunch of books, including a book of iron which has iron shot. It would be weird if the book of iron didn't have iron shot. Let me make sure that it does have iron shot. Yeah, I think it does, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it has iron shot. Okay. Alrighty, let's get out of here. Pretty okay, Bazaar. Let's pick up all my consumables. Important to do that if you're gonna drop everything. Pick up your consumables or get disproportionately punished for forgetting to do such a thing. Okay, let's. Oh, I went to the Vestibule of Hell accidentally. I typoed into going to hell. You get a pretty funny message if you go into hell. You go down through the gate. Welcome to hell. Please enjoy your stay. And then when you get out, it's like, please come back, please come back, or something like that. We hope you come back soon. Something funny like that. You'll see once I get out. But now that I'm here, might as well just kill Herion. Dude, look at this. Dude, look at that. Herion got absolutely dumpster, dude. 3 turns. Notice Herion killed Herion. Herion is not really the squishiest monster around. Max HP around 300. That's the kind of damage output that my character has. About 300 HP. Jeez. That's pretty nice. This character is so strong, dude. I'm out of mana, however, so I'm gonna have to retreat. I miscast Firestorm. I am going to retreat. And now, I don't think I even want to or care about going back to Hell. But yeah, I like the message. Thank you for visiting Hell. Please come again soon. Yeah, I like the message. We're gonna go to Sot. Okay. Lots of dudes. Not a fan of what I'm seeing right now. Alright. Maybe Mystic Blast works again? Ooh, the Quicksilver Dragon goes berserk is a bad line of text. But killing the Berserk Quicksilver Dragon is a pretty good line of text. This is going very well. With the kind of start that I got, it could have been absolutely disastrous, but it's definitely not been that. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna get out and rest to full HP, full resources. I still have my mana regen equipped, and I also have a source of regen, so I don't really have to rest a lot. For the vast majority of the game, I was not using mana regen, so it was a very good thing that I was able to acquire it. Mm, okay, this is going very well. Mm, all right, my Firestorm is at 3%. It's probably going to be at 2% once I get to 22 spell casting, but I'm not so sure about that. When it comes to these draconians, they're really, really scary and really, really nasty. It's just that my character is actually ridiculous with its damage output. It really is kind of nonsensical that you can get this strong, but yeah, it is like that. And it's not even at 100% power. It is very high spell power for Firestorm, 73%. And I also have harm, so that also is increasing my damage quite a bit. The damage that you deal is increased way more than the damage that you receive with harm. I still do not like to use a property on like 99% of my characters because if you increase the damage that you take, it's very likely that you're just gonna get one shot or two shot in any random bad situation. But on characters that have Firestorm and well, specifically Firestorm is the best example of a fantastic level 9 spell that gets the job done for harm purposes. Since you can just hit monsters all the way over there on the other side of the screen, you don't really have to worry about the extra damage that you would take from it. Also, the stealth that I trained very early on has been quite helpful. As you can see, I get first strike. The monsters just proceed to die. Let me drop that potion of Cirque. Because I do not want to use that ever with my character. This character doesn't have melee attacks. It theoretically could melee attack with the demon blade, but I shouldn't. I really, really shouldn't. Yeah, 160 and 56 HP, 16 armor class. It's just like a terrible idea to melee with this character. I'm gonna train this to 18 after I'm done training those things, which is close to happening. Sod has a million experience. I've been going through Sod lightning fast, so I haven't really been talking too much about it, but it's a very nasty place for some characters. The experience that I'm having with this character is not the average experience that an average character is going to have with Sod. I would say that this is a very, very strong character. Any character that has Firestorm in a 3-rune game is a very strong character. Especially if it comes with Vehumet, because Vehumet gives you quite the mana refills, so you can cast way more Firestorms than your average character. Yeah, I think that Ogre is my favorite species, but this has to be one of my favorite builds. I've talked about it before, but this is the build that kind of got me hooked into the game. I played 2 Deep Dwarfs, one 3-rune, one 15-rune. Both of them were spellcasters, and both of them got Shatter. So I had experience with spellcasters from the very beginning, but I didn't know how truly crazy spellcasters could get until I played a Deep Elf. Does Vehumet restore your HP if you play as Jin? Not only that, it doesn't, but you cannot even worship Vehumet when you're a Jin because the god is completely incompatible with Jin. You don't get spells from Vehumet. You don't get mana from Vehumet. You could theoretically get your spells enhanced, so that could help you, but you are also not guaranteed to get spells that Vehumet would enhance. So Vehumet straight up refuses you if you try to worship as a Jin. Same goes for Sif, Muna, and Akiku. You cannot worship those 3 gods as a Jin. Okay, I need to get rid of the ghost mod first. Ghost mods are very scary for spellcasters. They can just drain you of all your mana and therefore leave you completely unable to continue fighting, which is gonna kill you. So kill them fast or go invisible. They are invisible themselves. This character has invisible, so that's why I can see them. If you don't have see invisible, you need to be aware that Spider and Sot both have ghost mods, so you have to be aware of that. And at the moment that you get the message that the ghost mod is draining you, it's like you feel something staring at you or something like that. You feel something watching you, and your mana is drained a bit. That's when you know that you should, play accordingly. Either disengage or go invisible or put on your see invisible gear, that kind of thing. Yeah, this has just been oppressive. I would say that I played this character very well. There were very few mistakes in this character. I did make some mistakes, and pretty much every mistake is cost me a scroll of linking, but that's what they are for. They're there to save you in situations where you would have otherwise died if you didn't have a scroll of linking. Something that I missed in Kochmind quite a lot was the existence of scrolls of linking and scrolls of teleport. Disengaging from fights is costly in Kochmind. You have to lose your gear, or you have to waste time switching into wheels so you can run away. And there's no teleporting. There's only running away. Yeah. I prefer it how Crawl does it, giving you utility and escape options, consumables. Pretty nice. Okay. So, something that I just thought of, I wonder how harm works if you hit yourself with a spell. Because harm increases the damage that you deal and the damage that you receive. But in that situation, you're dealing a lot of damage and you're also receiving a lot of damage. How does that work? You just take like double damage or something? Something weird like that? I might have to ask someone. Maybe you just take the increased damage instead of dealing the increased damage. But yeah, this is going so well. I have to say that I was somewhat skeptical of harm. I have not used harm on a character build in a very long time. I think the last time I used harm, funnily enough, it was bugged and it didn't do anything. But now I can feel it. I can feel for sure that it is actually doing something. It is quite noticeable that it is having a massive impact on my damage output. Because as strong as Firestorm is, it doesn't usually one-shot Draconians. It usually two-shots them, even at 100% spell power. But harm's damage increase is one-shotting everything. Yeah, this character is so good. It's definitely not a character that's gonna be benevolent to a new player. But if you don't mind dying a lot, it is a pretty good character for you. Yeah, I like the glass cannon playstyle that Deep Elf has. Always liked it. I feel like a Deep Elf is not a true Deep Elf until it casts its first level 9 spell. Yeah, normally I would just dive Sot, but this character is so ridiculously strong that I can just walk around and kill everything, as I have been doing so far. Zero situations where I felt endangered. No need for me to use Scrolls of Blinking, of which, by the way, I didn't find a lot during this playthrough. So I'm very glad that I just had a character this powerful that didn't really need to use that many Scrolls of Blinking. I think I used like 3 or 4 at most. Many situations where I would have used scroll blinking with most other characters were taken care of by the existence of Mystic Blast. Mystic Blast was invaluable for this character. I like Conjurer for Deep Elf a lot. I feel like Deep Elf Conjurer is a pretty good build for Deep Elf nowadays. Maybe the best Deep Elf build, just because it has access to Mystic Blast. Cannot elaborate how important that spell is in the game nowadays. Um, Mystic Blast is just priceless. The ability to push monsters away in the age of attacks of opportunity, yeah, it is something else. Okay, let's port all of those things. Let's pick up the things that I care about, which are the scroll of Fogu and the money. The money, I don't think it even increases the score anymore. I don't know how score works, but yeah, just carry the money. As Gosak would say, greed is good. Gonna read magic mapping. This is the final level of the game, Sot 5. This is the level where the Orb of Sot is located. It is exactly in this tile. You pick it up and you get out and you win the game. As easy as that. However, getting to the orb is very difficult. As you can see, there is a lot of traps. I got very unfortunately double shot trap in the lungs, so that might kill me. I hope that it doesn't, but it's gonna make the whole ordeal much more painful. Um, yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. By the way, I wonder what's my power on Crystal Spear. It's still 10 dice of 15. Firestorm did go up. Now it deals 8 dice of 19. Um, Pretty nice. I could get more Earth Magic and like that would go up even higher. The Crystal Spear damage. I have to say that I have never like really used Crystal Spear for this long period of time. I think it's been made much more comfortable to use thanks to Vehumet. Like I do not really have the issue of it having very low range because Vehumet increases its range by 1. Vehumet also gives me mana when I kill things, so I don't run out of mana after casting 3 or 4 Crystal Spears. Well, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but more like 5 or 6 Crystal Spears. After all, it does cost 8 mana, so yeah, you can easily run out of mana. But Vehumet gives you a lot of mana back, so it's fine. Okay, I'm gonna cast a fireball, a couple of fireballs for those ghost mods. Don't want to cast Firestorm on them. They don't have enough HP to survive the fireballs anyway. I one-shot them. Okay, as in Elf, I like to clear as much of the level as possible before going into the final bolt, so that if I have to teleport, I have the highest chance of surviving. This place is full of very nasty enemies that I have not really seen in my stay in Sot. I have seen Killer Clowns and Cursed. Fortunately, Cursed don't generate here, but Killer Clowns do generate, or Guardians generate. That one halved my willpower. That's a nightmarish thing. I cannot afford to be here with my half willpower. What happens there with half willpower is that if a Lich sees me, I would just die. I think I had like a 40 or so, maybe even more percent chance to just get absolutely destroyed by an Ancient Lich with that negative willpower. Can I go up the stairs in SOT 5? Yes. You can go up the stairs in SOT 5. There you go. Funny thing that you mentioned that because I was about to do it anyway. I didn't need to rest, but I still did it. There you go. You can indeed go up the stairs in SOT 5. Oh boy. How... I kinda want to get Shatter. Because Shatter would break this and allow me to avoid these. Yeah, it's very rough. These traps are pretty bad. They're traps which inflict dangerously unpredictable magic effects on those unlucky enough to step on it. You may find yourselves thrown into the abyss, contaminated with enormous amounts of wild magic, have mighty fiends summoned against you, or the like. Hostile monsters may trigger this trap themselves to invoke its effects against you, but your allies will avoid stepping on it. So yeah, monsters do not trigger it 100% of the time. They only trigger like 33% of the time. So like 1 in 3 chances for the monsters to trigger it. Regardless, it's pretty bad that it is here because the monsters will go in like a conga train through the sod trap and will eventually trigger it. And the effects are pretty bad. The worst effect is getting paralyzed because if you get paralyzed by a sod trap, you're probably gonna die to whatever triggered it. Especially on a character like this one that is pretty much made out of paper. On the other hand, I do have Firestorm, so I can just stay on the other side of the trap and just kill things in 1 or 2 casts of Firestorm before they actually reach me. So far, that has been going very well. All right, I'll get more spellcasting. All right, I also get more Earth Magic. This is gonna be pretty rough. I'll blink. Hey, okay. It's kind of a good blink, but it's also pretty bad because I revealed an Orb of Fire, and I'm not hasted or anything. At least I have 3 pips of fire resistance, but I'm still gonna haste. I think this is the first haste that I've used in the entirety of the game. Orbs of Fire deal crazy high amounts of damage. Yeah, just to show you. It doesn't appear in tiles, but let's go to console. 3 dice of 40 bolt of fire, and 3 dice of 43 undodgeable fireball because it's an explosion. Explosions do not miss. It also has malmutate, so if you go for a long fight against an orb of fire, say you're a melee character, and you're missing to the orb of fire's willpower, well, evasion, sorry, or just failing to deal enough damage to the Orb of Fire's armor class, the Orb of Fire will make it so that you are not going to be able to be a functional character for much longer, especially not after 2 or 3 fights like that. Orbs of Fire are immune to fire, obviously, so they don't really take that much damage from Firestorm. Let's try Crystal Spear. Crystal Spear almost killed it. I don't want it to miss, so I'm just gonna go for the Firestorm, and I'm pretty sure that's gonna kill, and it does. Another one. Okay, you know what I should do? I should use a Potion of Brilliance as well. Potion of Brilliance helps the mana cost of your spells. So now my Firestorm costs 5 mana and Crystal Spear costs 4. I can also just cast a Servitor to support me further. It also increases the spell power of your spells. So the Servitor now has 3 dice of 41 Crystal Spear. My own is 10 dice of 18. Firestorm is 8 dice of 22. Pretty nice for sure. I lost some intelligence. I am not a fan of that. I'm gonna drink a potion of mutation. Subdued magic? Are you joking? Dude, that's the worst thing ever. Okay. Subdued magic greatly reduces the power of my spells. That's rough. I also want to get rid of that, but I'll do that after the combat because if I do it right now, it's just gonna happen again. By the way, I got marked, which is an awful thing. You don't want to be marked usually. I might be able to actually survive the mark because the character is that powerful, but yeah, you generally don't want to be marked. Okay. He's gonna sit here, wait for that guy to get over here. It's not really dealing that much damage thanks to my 3 pips of fire resistance and a very fantastic damage output. I cannot hit it without either hitting my servitor or hitting myself. Oh, I also got netted. It's not going well. Oh, nice. So what happened there? The power of Sod is invoked against you. A freezing vortex lifts you up. You fly up into the air. This guy was summoned by that. A Twister. A whirling vortex of frost. It was summoned by a Sod trap. Um, Take a look at this because you're not gonna see it very frequently. Max HP about 12,000. It looks harmless. That's the funniest part about that. It is permanently casting Tornado or like Polar Vortex, I assume. I guess. Um, Hey, good evening, Shaper. Imagine monsters seeing you and going through traps towards you. They kinda do that. I don't know if they actively go out of their way to go through the traps, but they can do that. They go through the traps if they can go through the traps in a straight line. Ah, So yeah, you don't kill a Twister, and in fact, this is pretty bad because the only resistance that I do not have is cold resistance. Polar Vortex deals cold damage. I'm going to read a scroll blinking here. This layout is awful. There's so many traps. Both those sides were completely littered with traps, including the sod traps in the entrance. Oof, 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 oof. Okay, I think we're fine. I'm still hasted and brilliant, so it's not that terrible. The Orb of Fire is also getting killed by the Twister because it deals damage to everything, not only to me. Repositioning there was pretty good. In fact, you remember that I mentioned earlier that it was very difficult to make mistakes with this kind of build? I think not repositioning there was a mistake that would have gotten me killed. Why are there so many Orbs of Fire? On the character that is casting Firestorm, I get all the Orbs of Fire. Sometimes it is like that. This character destroys Ancient Leeches, Red Leeches, Killer Clowns, but no, I got only Orbs of Fire. I think I've killed like 6 of them, and I am dealing some damage to them. I don't understand how that is, but I am also not gonna complain about it. Oh, I have Subdued Magic. Let's get rid of that. I got it doing a fight with an Orb of Fire. That's fine. I mean, it's not the best because -2 intelligence, but I also don't think that it is too much of an issue. Mm. So there were many parts of the game that I didn't visit. I didn't see Bolts 5, I didn't see Crypt, I didn't see Tomb, I didn't see... I guess I didn't go to a Ziggurat, I didn't go to Extended, of course. You can do those things, but you don't need to do them in order to win the game, as very clearly exemplified by this character. Yeah, this character is just very strong. It is already strong enough to win the game, as I mentioned earlier. It was only a formality for me to get a third rune. By the time I got to Depths 4, I was already ready to go into Sod 1. Going into Slime didn't really increase the power level of my character in any significant way. This character already fought pretty much the entirety of Sod 5 in one go, just from being marked, and it kind of stumped the fight. It was not even. It was a very one-sided fight in my favor. Oh, a Dreadlich. Hold on. Yeah, you can paralyze me. I have 4 pips of willpower, so you have a 0% chance to paralyze me. You actually cannot paralyze me. Good thing that I checked that, and good thing that I actually put on willpower. Okay, yeah, I think that was literally it. There's very few monsters left here after that massacre. Alright, so that's it. Let's pick up this thing. The whole objective of my journey through the dungeon. Pretty amazing teleport trap. It avoided me the trouble of going through these sub traps. And now I can just go D0. And so the Orb Run begins. In the Orb Run, the Lords of Pandemonium are not amused, so you're gonna start seeing dudes summoned against you, demons. Usually, very scary demons. Not always, but or not all of them, but you're gonna see some very scary demons. Um, Yeah, so far I haven't seen any fiends, executioners. Executioners can be literally a joke, but not for this character. Executioners are especially built to deal with characters like these because they are really, really fast and they deal not a lot of damage, but they attack really, really like crazy amounts of times. They also can haste themselves, so they just attack like crazy. But the Orb Run was nearly flawless. There were no nasty generations of monsters here. Nothing that really threatened me during the Orb Run. So yeah, I think I meleeed like twice or thrice in the entirety of the game. That was just a crazy strong character. Really made me appreciate harm. Harm is not something that you can use on like 90% of characters, but like on my Crystal Spear Firestorm character, harm definitely got the job done. I guess we can switch to these for the ending. Yeah, harm was a fantastic thing to have. Um, let's inscribe it with. Um, Yeah, actually MVP. Strength plus 6 and harm were two properties that I was very happy to have with this character. Mm, Clarity and 2 armor class. Sure, I'll take it. Um, yeah, was just a very strong character by the end. Also, let's inscribe the ring. Yeah, I think it's no joke the best ring I've seen this year. That ring is just incredible. The only thing that it's missing is like plus 9 intelligence or something ridiculous like that. But yeah, it's a pretty busted ring. It's like four good properties, including 3 pips of fire resistance, which is a really good property and no downside. Like the drain, like I'm never taking it off. So drain literally doesn't do anything. And so that's it for the run. Yeah. Um, I hope that you enjoyed the run. It's definitely gonna go to YouTube as part of the tutorial series. When I started it, I didn't really plan it to be part of the tutorial series, but I was going really slow and I was like explaining everything to the new players, so it just became part of the tutorial series. Anyway, I guess we can go back to tiles because why not? And then just escape. Escape. You have escaped. There we go. Really good character, yeah. Has my seal of approval. Will I do a voiceover for the tutorial series or raw upload? I cut the video for, or like, I cut the very beginning and pretty much the very ending part of the streams, and I just put it on YouTube like that. I don't change the commentary that I do on stream. That's how I do the tutorial series videos. I also add a write up and I like explain a bit more about the character, and I also add timestamps so people can see the part that they are most interested in. Um, that's kind of how it is with the tutorial series. And that's like the only thing that is different about it compared to the normal uploads that I do for entertainment. So yeah, I am very glad that my first character after my short break from Crawl ended up being so successful. Um, I have to notate that you have a maximum of 27 levels, but unless you go do some of the things that I didn't do, like Crypt and Bolt 5, you're more often than not gonna get to 27. People usually like to dive SOT, so you also do not get to 27 if you dive SOT. It's a lot of experience that you're leaving behind, but it's also a lot of experience that may not be necessary for your character. Anyway, I think that is going to be it for me tonight. I would like to start a new character tomorrow to, just not pause the character and then come back to it and kill it within the first 10 minutes of the stream. Thank you for watching and thank you for hanging out. If you enjoyed what you saw, you should consider following if you're not already following. And if you are, you can consider subscribing. You don't have to, and I understand if you don't want to or you can't, but I appreciate it if you choose to do so. With that being said, let's see. I think Particle Phase was streaming. Um, yeah. When it comes to the karaoke goal that we hit during the Kochmind era of the stream, I suppose, during the first 2 days of the Kochmind part of the stream. I still haven't set a date, but it might be a celebratory stream when I get to 2 years of affiliates. It's gonna happen on YouTube. It's not gonna happen on Twitch, and it's gonna be on like a Saturday or so. It's not gonna be part of the usual streaming schedule. It's gonna be a bonus. So let's see. Particle Face must be streaming. Yeah, Particle Face is streaming, so we can rate Particle Face. I think Particle Face is on a pretty good streak right now. So yeah, let's go ahead and check out what Particle Face has to say regarding Crawl tonight. If you don't know, Particle Face also plays Crawl. He's pretty good, and you might enjoy his content as well. So do consider following him if you enjoy what he does as well. I'll be back tomorrow, so see you around.